Hey there, this is Ira Heiden, the Wizard Master from Nightmare in Elm Street Part 3, and you are listening to Earthling Entertainment. And whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hello, foolish mortals, and welcome to the Halloween edition of Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hey, I'm your host who moved to Hollywood so he can go trick-or-treating well into his 30s, Joe Wakefield.
I still go trick-or-treating. Hi, I'm Ryan Lang.
Doesn't count, you have kids. Well, so
Yeah.
do I, but,
Yeah.
you didn't go yourself as a trick-or-treater, would you, though? Like,
No.
I feel like there's people out there who are not going to call you out. They're going to think you're weird, and they're going to be like, what the hell? But, like, how many people have enough balls to be like, no, I'm not giving you candy? Like, you as a grown man,
Yeah.
go in there as a costume, like, without any kids, and go trick-or-treat
No,
and just
that's
stare
weird.
at them. Just stare at them right in the eyes.
No, that's weird. I mean, it's different. It's different, like, if you have, like, a neighborhood, right? Or if you all decide, like, oh, we're all going to meet up for, you know,
We should do-
driveway beers or something.
All right, well, here's the thing. Just as an experiment, right? You go trick-or-treating, and you, as an adult wearing a costume, and say trick-or-treat, and you mark how many people said no or how many people actually gave you candy. Then the next year, you do it again, except you wear a helmet, and you see how many people give you candy versus don't, and you compare the results.
That's a good idea.
That's not a good idea. That's arguably an offensive idea, but
well,
I'm just saying. Like, for instance, I was out at a Halloween thing at Greenfield Village. So for those of you who don't know, in Dearborn, Michigan, there's this place called the Henry Ford. And Greenfield Village is like a historical buildings put together in a village, and they have like Halloween events and Christmas events.
like brick by brick rebuilt from original, like the Wright brothers' house, all that stuff.
Yeah, the bicycle shop. There's a courthouse where Lincoln learned law.
That's
Well,
right.
anyways, we were there with my family, and there was someone in the most inappropriate costume ever. But they were clearly special needs. And it was just so obvious that no one was going to say anything, but the kid was in blackface. I know. It was like, it was a straight up like,
Oh no, you can't
17
do that.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to walk up and tell them not to?
Oh my gosh,
That
no,
was
of course
my point.
you can't.
Exactly.
Oh
well,
my gosh.
Now that we offended everyone, let me tell you what it is that this show is.
Oh
Guys,
boy.
First of all, if you are returning listeners, welcome back to the show. How
Welcome.
are you? We're really happy to have you. Please download the episode. Downloading the episode is actually the best way to support the show. And if you are a new listener, you might be if you're a new listener who hasn't already turned it off, you might be wondering, what is this show? What is it you guys do? What are you all about?
He's gonna tell you.
I am going to tell you. So, we have two halves. The first half is paranormal. The second half is entertainment news and things like that. But let me break it down. So what we do here is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy. Sometimes it's cryptozoology. Other times it's a haunting, a myth, or a legend. But it's always spooky.
Oh my god.
That, of course, is followed by a segment we lovingly call Disclosure Discussion. That one's all about aliens.
I'm just asking questions about aliens, about extraterrestrials, UFO sightings, any new videos that have come out, all of these congressional hearings that we've been hearing about.
About hearings.
That's right. That's what we talk about.
Absolutely. Then the second half of the show, the latter half, if you will, is all dedicated to pop culture and entertainment. Sometimes we have celebrity guests. We've had audio dramas. We sometimes play trivia games.
We do.
There's always some kind of genre. I almost said drama. Genre news. Actually, our news usually isn't full of drama. It's all genre.
Yeah.
Celebrity deaths and what have you. It's pop culture all the time. And then those two things together,
Okay.
the beginning, which is paranormal,
Okay.
the second half, which is pop culture,
Got it.
come together to form the delicious Reese's Peanut Butter Cup known as Earthling Entertainment. Welcome.
Welcome indeed.
Welcome indeed.
And usually Joe always talks about a certain kind of treat when he describes our podcast. So
yeah, it's a blending of two things. That's usually how that goes. Oh, Ryan. Oh my God. So Ryan has brought moon pies, like
That's
actual moon pies.
the moon pie.
that has been around since 1917, I might add. I wonder if they have The Food That Built America about moon pies.
I'm sure they do. But Joe, for the longest time, always was like, moon pie of a podcast. Like, we've probably done dozens where you opened it that way. And I always loved it because I was like, man, when's the last time I had
a moon pie?
A fucking moon pie. So I saw these at the store before.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it on the podcast, but they were banana. And I was like, ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
You got to have the classic moon pie.
We got the chocolate.
We got it. Excellent.
In honor of the Halloween episode, I felt like it was proper.
So, guys, you may have noticed that we actually missed an episode last week. And it's funny because the episode before we missed, I was bragging about how we never missed a fucking week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Understandable, though, dude.
yeah, well, fair enough. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I had a nervous breakdown, like a legit nervous breakdown. So the Tuesday after we recorded the show, Wednesday I edit, Thursday we drop the episode. So that Wednesday, it was in the afternoon and I started feeling like my heart racing, like really bad, like to the point where you can't stop it.
Super scary, dude.
And then my arms went numb. Now, granted, it wasn't the left arm, it was both arms. And I'm like, oh crap, I might be going to the hospital. I mean, I'm not terribly overweight or anything, sure, maybe a couple pounds. And I don't eat terribly, but I have fast food now and again. And the fact is, some people have heart attacks in their 30s. It could be genetics. So I was like, oh crap, I got to go to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room. They write it off as a panic attack and they give me an EKG and the EKG is fine. And they checked my blood for a protein to see if I had a heart attack. And once again, that was fine. So after being there for a while, they send me home and they're like, okay, you're okay. But then that night I started having these crazy hot sweats, you know what I mean? And like a temperature gauge, and it was just all over the place. It was scary. So much so that the symptoms didn't let up, that a few days later on that Sunday, I went back to the emergency room once again for another EKG.
Yeah, guys, he had a wild ride, dudes.
A bunch of blood tests and things like that. They tested thyroid, they tested this, they tested that. Well, long story short, it turns out that they believe I had a weird virus that was just normal sickness, but it messed up the thyroid, made it hyperthyroid, and that's why I had all the hot stuff. And they gave me pills for that. Then they found out I had strep throat, which and then they found out I had shingles. Yeah, and then they found out there was fluid around my heart. All of this happened last week.
And by the way, also fluid around the heart.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. So basically,
he's having a swim.
Yeah. So basically,
Jesus, dude.
They think the thyroid lowered the immune system, and I got hit with everything I could possibly get hit with. I'm on the mend. I'm taking some, the normal pills you take for those kind of things. On top of the fact that they gave me this really powerful anti-anxiety medicine, which I've never taken anti-anxiety medicine before because I haven't needed it before. And
well, that's questionable.
Well, fair enough. So if you notice, I'm a little loosey-goosey this week. This is why.
Fan.
But I will tell you that I have a pretty good excuse for missing the episode last week.
Most certainly. I think everybody agrees, dude. No, it's good. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing this again. Guys, guys, we do this every week. And him and I, we sit here and we just set up our microphones and here we are, man. Like we love doing this every week. We look forward to it.
Absolutely. And just, the workload isn't something we could pass off to someone else because Ryan does a lot of the show notes and I contribute to a lot of the news stuff. And then once it's done and recorded, I usually do the editing and the thumbnail and the posting. And well, I mean, it's not like we have a Greg who's in the corner right now doing it for us. You know what I mean? So we couldn't really, there was no way to make it work. We did record a really, really cool interview for the Halloween episode.
That's right.
And we had it last week because last week was going to be the Halloween episode. Mm-hmm. But, and I thought about just releasing the interview, right? Like as an episode. And ultimately we decided to just say, no, we're skipping a week. I didn't even address it on social media. I figured the explanation comes now. You know what I mean? This is what happened for those who are wondering.
This episode's going to be worth it, guys. We got a lot planned for you.
Well, the interview I wanted to tell you about is an actor who is from one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I don't know who you guys consider the ultimate horror villain. Jason Voorhees, there's Freddy Krueger, there's Michael Myers, and, Chucky, arguably Leatherface. For me personally, it's always been Friday the 13th, and it's always been Jason Voorhees.
Same.
But as much as I prefer Jason overall, my favorite horror movie in that kind of genre has always been A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh, dude.
And I'm so excited to tell you we actually have someone who is in that film. The gentleman who played Will in that film, his name is Ira Heiden. And we got him on today's show. So the second half of it, you get to sit down with one of the original Elm Street kids. How sweet is that?
Dude, super sweet, bro. Like, what a good Halloween treat.
I think so. And because, Freddy, apparently, according to the lore, got his powers from dream demons, we thought, well, let's do that. Let's talk about nightmares and demons and dream demons and all that stuff for this week. And, that's what we're going to do for spooky stuff. But before we jump into spooky stuff, Ryan, how was your week?
It was good. I've been working my butt off. I've been at the plant every day. But, speaking of nightmares, so when I was on the cruise, I had a nightmare.
Okay.
And it was about Art the Clown.
That makes sense.
Chasing after me,
Okay.
butt naked.
Oh.
Obviously had his makeup and everything.
Okay, but he's got like the white striped suit, right?
No,
So when
butt naked. He
So-
was running after me with
Okay,
his face and everything.
I gotta know, is his body tan and there's just white makeup that starts at like the neck, or was his whole body white?
It was like insanely pale.
Okay.
Like almost like a corpse.
So it was like 28 weeks later, dangling as he runs. I get it.
Yeah. And out of his butt was a tube. And it was like leaking this white liquid.
Like
And
bird shit?
Like, I don't know.
Yogurt? The
I don't
substance?
know. But like literally,
stuff?
and then he was like shooting around and laughing, and it was just fucked up, bro. Like it was
Oh.
like straight up, like you don't know like what the hell your mind can come up with, dude.
That sounds like you took too much. I don't know, like cough syrup or something. Did you take Cortisone cough and cold before that, man?
No, that was just me on the cruise, and I'll go ahead and admit it. That after you quit smoking weed for a while, you start getting some dreams.
Well, fair enough. I've had some weird dreams too lately, like fever dreams from the last week.
Yeah,
Just strange stuff, and kind of like you, it was just images that would pop in my head. I had a whole dream where I was looking for a floppy disk, and I needed that. And
a
dude,
floppy disk.
I know we're not even that old. Like the last time floppy disks were used, I was in like second grade. It's not like I'm 55 here.
Oh, let's play Number Munchers.
But yeah, just weird stuff. Anyways, apparently if I didn't find that floppy disk, the world was going to end. It was something straight out of like war games. I don't know what the hell is going on,
I
man.
could see that being a thing.
Right? Like,
Somewhere there's a floppy disk that will save us all, and we have no idea.
holy crap, Ryan, we got to tell guys, if you find this floppy disk, for God's sake, save the world.
Yeah. The save icon 3D printed. I saw a post about that where some kid saw a floppy disk and they were like, "Oh, that's cool. You 3D printed the save icon." Oh,
It's weird though.
I didn't
'cause
even realize it till then that was the icon. It is a floppy disk.
It is. It's weird how things have changed in just the amount of time we've been alive. Because when we were born, let's say, it was the I think Nintendo just came out. I think Nintendo came out like 86 or early 80s. So it was like, and now we have like 3D reality, like, meta glasses and things. It's just, we're in that weird generation where technology jumps so much. It's kind of like the people who were around for the train. Like, I'm on a steam train, and then we're there to see the man land on the moon.
Well, right.
It's like such exponential growth.
And it's been going so fast, right? So it's like decades really aren't a thing anymore. It's almost like 5, maybe even 3 years. Like every 3 years, things are drastically
Is equivalent to like 10 years
back
50
then.
years ago. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you think flower power when you think of the 70s, 80s, like, oh, like, disco and all that stuff. And it's like,
I wonder what people think of when you look back at like the early 2000s, because that was our high school, right? And in my head, it was just whale tails and the shirts that show the belly button.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, by the
it-
way, speaking of early 2000s, do you remember, obviously, Britney Spears?
Of course.
Well, they say Margot Robbie is in talks to play Britney Spears in a biopic, and I just gotta wonder. I'm like,
Dude.
hold on though, is Margot Robbie going to play Britney Spears in the third act? Because Britney Spears was famous when she was like 17, and I know Margot Robbie's very attractive, but she doesn't look like she's 17. So, like, how are you going to play Britney Spears? Are we de-aging Margot Robbie?
They're probably, that's what I was about to say. They're going to de-age her.
Just seems like a lot of work to just.
They'll do it.
I know, but just cast a beautiful blonde and then cast another beautiful blonde like for the next 10 years and another beautiful blonde for the next 10 years.
I would be on board if they were like, yeah, it would probably be a good thing for like a young girl's career, right? Like a young actor's career to get that role, like to be young Britney in the start of the film.
Yeah, but arguably, I think from an acting standpoint, go for her breakdown simply because there's a lot of. Imagine from an acting standpoint, like the nuances of like emotion on your face of trying to act stoic when everything is falling apart and just the things like, it feels like you could really stretch your legs as an actress doing that.
Yeah, dude. I still follow Britney Spears on Instagram because you can't look at, dude, you can tell she's going through it, man. Like she does some crazy stuff sometimes.
It's, I don't know the person, obviously. No, I don't want to disrespect, but it seems like there are some things that it's like, maybe considering you had a conservatorship that you might want to not post that.
No, yeah.
Because that makes you look not great.
And her ex-husband just released a book.
Yeah, that guy's
like a tell-all. Yeah. And so she's dealing with that.
Well, he's only famous because of her. So it's like his whole book has to be trashing her because no one would buy it otherwise. Be like, Kevin Federline, I worked on a car once. Like, what do you? It'd be like if I wrote a memoir. Like, I got to do some shit before people are gonna care.
So, I can't help but alter. I gotta.
No. We're not altering. So
we're gonna swerve here.
Where are we swerving?
To Halloween.
Okay, because it's our Halloween episode.
It's our Halloween episode. We talk about Britney Spears.
All right. Well, to be fair, that is spooky.
It is quite spooky. You're not even wrong. The knives video was amazing.
All right, so Halloween. My favorite Halloween movie is The Halloween Tree. It is a great book by Ray Bradbury. And as a filmmaker, my one dream would be to make a live-action Halloween Tree movie. What is your favorite Halloween movie?
Oh, my gosh. I knew you were going to ask me this, and I still wasn't prepared. Because I know you're very specific about what is a Halloween movie.
It's very simple. It has to take place on the holiday or be about the holiday to be a Halloween movie. A horror movie does not count as a Halloween movie unless it takes place on Halloween or is about Halloween. That's I don't think it's that specific.
No, it's not too specific. Yeah. So in that light, I would probably say honestly it's neck and neck. Tales of Halloween and Trick or Treat. Because they're both kind of similar. I like that style, like how it's just multiple stories.
I agree. I love Trick or Treat.
Yeah. And what was his name? Sammy? I think is his name.
It's just Sam.
Sam? Yeah. Dude, what a great... I love it when people are creative with new creatures, new monsters. And to me, that was really... And I have to also say, I know that you wouldn't consider it Halloween because it does not take place. But Smile, I know that's just a horror.
Yeah, that's just a horror movie. It's a great movie.
But I was just comparing it as that was a made-up demon, a made-up creature, entity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really respect that in a new film.
I do too. So here's my thing. Did you see how Smile 2 ended?
Yes.
Okay, so for spoiler if you guys don't want to know how Smile 2 ends. But so Smile is someone who is infected by the demon, eventually is driven crazy, and then eventually is kind of absorbed by the demon and they kill themselves. And if you witness that murder or the suicide, I should say, then it passes on to you.
And you can only pass it on by murdering someone else in front of someone else in a very crazy way.
Sure, but that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say.
Just saying.
Okay, fair enough. So at the end of the second Smile movie, it is a very famous singer, and she kills herself on stage in front of thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to this third movie, I don't want them to basically make all that go away in the first act. I want there to be I want it to be like a post-apocalyptic film.
That's what
I want it to be society breaking down because everyone in the world is being affected slowly on, like that pandemic game you play on your phone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's spreading everywhere. Because if thousands of people go off, there are people who travel across the country to go to concerts. So
Yeah.
arguably, this could be the beginning of an apocalypse, a demon smile
Well,
apocalypse.
and I think you undersold it. You said thousands.
Could
Talk about millions, because it was broadcast.
True, but we don't know if seeing it through the screen has the same effect. As a filmmaker, you can say, "Oh, you had to see it live." You know what I mean? You could.
I believe that it was all of the above. I believe that everyone who saw it was now possessed, and I'm right on board with you. It's going to be like a post-apocalyptic where everybody is infected by this demon.
The only way they're not going to go with that is because if it's super expensive to do. Because horror movies, the appeal of doing a horror movies is it tends to be lower budget films.
Yeah.
Like I'm still talking about tens of millions of dollars, don't misunderstand.
Right.
But $40 million for a horror movie is a lot different than $250 million for an Avengers movie.
Only slightly.
Only slightly, right? But for example, just to say what I'm saying is, do you know the Jurassic Park movies? Obviously,
Yes,
well, they
I'm
had
aware.
Jurassic Park Dominion, I believe it was. It was the last one before this new one. They ended it where they're like, dinosaurs are coming back and they're going to be everywhere and throughout the world.
Yep.
And then the beginning of this new Jurassic movie, they're like, nope, they all died. They're not good. They don't like our temperature and our air. So they're like 4 of them out the equator. They're all dead.
And like 100 billion of them just.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really crappy move because it's like you set up a unique idea of dinosaurs being everywhere and us trying to live with dinosaurs. Like, can you imagine?
Jurassic World.
Well, wouldn't people like imagine adapting to that world? Imagine a triceratops pulling a plow on a farm. Things like that.
I could.
Like Dinotopia type shit.
That'd be dope.
And I feel like that's where they should have went with it. And I feel like it was a real cop out of them just being like, most of them died and now they're on an island again.
Oh, what can you do? You know.
All I'm saying is I hope Smile doesn't do that. I hope
agree.
Smile sticks with their apocalyptic setup. You know what I mean?
I think they will. I feel like they got a smart team behind that. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have faith.
It's all about money, man.
I have faith, and I don't have money, but they do. You know, so I have faith in their money.
Okay. Well, let me propose a third option though for this Smile sequel. What if everyone in the world is affected, right? But there still is only one Smile demon. So he's just one die. Okay.
It's just
Die.
to the next one.
Okay.
Shit.
I never get a day off. This was a terrible idea.
I am run dry.
Like I am really tired. Even I don't feel like smiling anymore.
Oh my god.
When the smile dies.
Oh my
right?
gosh. And then it becomes like a sad movie and you sympathize with it.
Yeah, or we could just go like Army of Darkness and suddenly it's a comedy and it's just seriously like horrific death scene and then straight up cut to like running across the country.
Shit.
Yeah. You're like fuck. Anyways, I think that's about time to start the official show. What do you think, Ryan?
Why not? We are going to keep with the theme of nightmares today.
Nightmares and demons on this week's Spooky Stuff.
Dream demons. A mare is a creature originating from Scandinavian folklore, described as some kind of evil spirit or goblin. This monster is said to ride its victims, laying upon the person's chest while they sleep. The mare's presence causes the sleeping victim to experience nightmares while the creature sucks at their life energy. This has led to mares being compared to succubi and incubi.
And an old cat I had called Scrambles, the Death Dealer, which was his actual name. It was based on a Metalocalypse line.
That's right.
Yeah,
Scramble. Yeah. I remember Scrambles.
Yeah, but he would sleep on my chest. Like I'd lay on my back and he'd sleep directly on my chest. And I kind of felt like he wanted to suck out my soul. Not sure if he ever did, but it seemed like it was definitely in his. I
noticed. You had a lot less soul.
Very pale.
Yep. An incubus is a male demon that shares a similar role to his female counterpart, the succubus. However, unlike the seductive succubus, the incubus was a more forceful spirit and was believed to invade the dreams of women at night and rape them, often producing evil offspring as a result.
No jokes there. That's awful.
Incubus attacks involved phenomena such as shortness of breath, paralysis, and nightmarish illusions, which may have been caused by the very real condition known as sleep paralysis. However, in the superstitious and highly devout minds of the medieval world, such a thing could only be registered as an unholy defilement of one's most vulnerable moments.
I agree. I've only had sleep paralysis a couple times in my life, but it is horrifying. You wake up, you're completely alert, but like you cannot move. Like you're sitting there, and you're like trying all your might to move your foot or your arm, and you're just kind of not moving.
You're in like the world between worlds.
It's pretty rough. It's basically your brain woke up before your body.
Right. And you're still kind of dreaming.
I'm just saying I could see why medieval times would be like I was being held down by a demon, because it's scary. It's a scary thing.
Makes sense. To those who believe in the hidden world of ghosts, demons, and otherworldly beings, the incubus is simply an evil spirit. And even in the modern world, there are cases of people that claim to have been visited by incubi or similar entities. A succubus is a demon from folklore that was said to haunt the dreams of sleeping men, mating with them to produce various offspring or to simply drain them of life force. The succubus was almost always depicted as female, and unlike the night hag, was normally an attractive and seductive spirit.
Yeah. Also, I feel like a succubus can come in, do her thing, and get pregnant with some demon baby, and you wouldn't notice. But if an incubus sleeps with a woman at night against her will, and she wakes up pregnant, well, you can't hide that.
And it's force. Yeah, dude, they're evil, man.
I'm just saying, if as a guy you're like, man, I think I was raped by a demon, and then you look over there and it's like, oh, never mind. Oh, wow. Pregnant. Evil eyes.
Sith eyes.
It's a little Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, no. Better. Oh, my God. So.
By the way, have you recently seen Rosemary's Baby? I mean, Roman Polanski made it. And if you know
I did watch it a few years ago.
It's not as scary if you're not religious. I'm just saying, like, if you're not super religious, it's just kind of like a weird movie.
I know what you mean.
But there is a Zoe Saldana starring miniseries remake of Rosemary's Baby. Did you know that?
No.
There was a prequel to Rosemary's Baby called Apartment 7A. Did you know that?
No.
I know. So much.
No, I don't know.
Well, it's the hand that rocks the cradle.
Well, I'll be damned.
Well, they were damned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, damn. Incubi, the male counterpart to succubi, are more violent in nature, but both are deadly creatures of the night and were born from medieval legends spawned from a period of history when the idea of chastity was sacred.
When the idea was chastity.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah. No one cares now.
No, why would you? The night hag, sometimes known as the old hag, was another kind of nightmare spirit in folklore. Unlike the other nightmare spirits, she was rarely depicted as being beautiful and had no interest in mating with her victims.
Oh, well, I mean, that's good.
Death by snoo snoo.
Well, it's just funny. The night hag was not attractive. And be like, yeah, it's probably why it's called hag. It's not called the night beauty. It's the night hottie.
Like, yeah, you're right. It kind of describes itself, doesn't it?
I mean,
well put. Yeah. According to legend, night hags were a type of spirit that invaded people's dreams via entering their homes and sitting on their chest, causing them to experience horrible nightmares before they awoke in a panic, often finding it hard to breathe or move. Once the victim awoke, however, the hag's influence was said to fade away within a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so waking up out of a nightmare kind of thing. You know what? I'm imagining kind of like a scary movie scene, right? Where you open up a door, because you're checking on people. And then there's just kind of this weird little naked woman who's just sitting on this guy going, get out of here. Sitting on his chest. Oh,
sorry.
shit.
Whoa, sorry.
Whoa.
I'm out.
He's going to have some weird dreams.
I certainly am. Oh, my God. The victim was said to have been hag-ridden as a result, and understandably, many cultures lived in fear of this creature.
Fair enough.
An Alp is a malevolent creature from German folklore closely associated with the night hag, incubus,
The ALP, the ALP?
the Alp, ALP,
Yeah.
as well as the night hag, incubus, and other night spirits blamed for nighttime attacks upon innocents during the medieval era. The Alp was seen as an ugly little humanoid, almost always male, who would advance upon human females during the night and sit on their chest, causing them difficulty in breathing and also restraining them.
Yeah, kind of like it just seems like it's the same creature or creatures going by different names, right? I mean, because they're all similar. It's all kind of what the cause of sleep paralysis was. And it would give you
Yes.
nightmares. It would sit on your chest. It would hold you down. Yeah. The German version.
Correct. So the German version, the Alp, would proceed to plague its victim with frightening dreams or even sexual assault in a manner similar to the other night spirits. Despite the Alp's small size, it was said to be extremely powerful and fearsome. Thus, a victim was all but paralyzed until the creature decided to leave.
I'm bored.
All right, I'm done.
He's
here.
like, all right. This guy, he pooped himself. He had a dream about some Art the Clown running around naked with a tube out of his butt. Yeah, I think we're good.
And
I think
quite
we're good here.
honestly, I'm pooped myself.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
You know, it's weird that there's so much of a sexual component here. And
Yeah.
I was thinking like how that does kind of lend itself to the Freddy Krueger mythos, because even though in the
Ooh.
original series, they never explicitly said it, in the original series, they said he was a child murderer. And it was kind of like nod, nod, wink, wink. Maybe there was something sexy about it. Ugh. But then in the 2010 remake, they just went too far and were like, no, he's straight up a child molester. And it was like, oh.
He was always suggestive.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
it's like Freddy was kind of fun and kind of like he cracked jokes, and then that 2010 one, he was just too serious. Like they took away all the fun of it. But anyways, the Dream Demon having something to do with, I don't know, it makes sense. It plays more into the Freddy mythos than I had earlier realized with how many of these dark dream demon spirits.
You're right. I never even made that connection. The Alp's cruelty also extended to children, animals, and its general surroundings, as it liked to sour milk, re-diaper infants,
That one's kind of funny.
which is the act of putting soiled diapers back on a sleeping baby.
It's like, so some guy changes his kid's diaper, and then then he wakes up again and has to do it a second time. He's like, "What? I just did that. A demon put a crappy diaper back on you." Like, no, your kid probably just pooped again.
I'm just reminded of the Family Guy episode where everything was in reverse. And then
Yeah.
literally Stewie had to get a dirty diaper put back on him.
No. It was awful, Brian.
And they also make cows sick as well and agitate livestock in general.
They give you nightmares, and they're just kind of dicks.
And they just fuck with your
Yeah,
livestock.
they're putting dirty diapers on your babies, fucking with your dog when he's sleeping, just
Like,
messing with cows.
He's sort of an asshole.
Yeah, kind of just a little mischief jerk.
So thankfully, the Alp had a weakness in the form of his Tarnkap, a magic hat, which the wicked elf required to perform his misdeeds. Indeed, tales have been told of an Alp offering great rewards to have his hat returned.
Well, just to bring it back to Freddy Krueger, I don't know if you remember the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but Nancy actually pulled off Freddy's hat and took it out of the dream.
Yes.
So I'm wondering how much Wes Craven actually was influenced by some of these dream demons.
You're not even wrong. That's crazy. And honestly, guys, that's the end of spooky stuff. And honestly, with the hat thing, honestly, Joe, wow, like step by step, I would love to ask Wes if that's really, because you're right, so many things.
So many things are connected there. It's just, and also that character was built upon in each sequel, right? Like that hat thing could have been a coincidence. They didn't actually mention Dream Demons until the 6th movie, which a lot of people don't consider a great movie. It was the Freddy's Dead. That was the
Which
one we saw.
one?
Freddy's Dead, the 6th one is the
yeah.
one where basically it showed Freddy making the deal with the Dream Demons and becoming Freddy.
What was the one where the girl got turned into a cockroach or whatever?
That was
and
number 4.
That one was good.
I liked 4. So 4 is my second favorite. If I was to pick, it would be, and I know everyone says the first one is the best, and you're not wrong. The first one is the best film, but we're talking our favorites.
Right.
So my favorite is number 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. My second one would be A Nightmare on Elm Street. God, what was it? It was the Dream Warrior.
I'm not going to lie to you.
4.
I've forgotten which is which.
I'm just going to go with the numbers. It was 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 2, 7. That was my favorite in order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you can't differentiate
No,
enough
I
between the
can't.
sequels.
But I mean, I loved Freddy vs. Jason, which I know is just like out of left field, but
I guess if you were going to put a number on it, that would be 8.
right. I loved that film. I still love that film. It's so good. It's a fun watch.
When I first saw it, I remember being a little disappointed because I don't know what I wanted, but it was just, it didn't give me exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to be, I guess, more epic. I wanted it to be the Avengers Endgame of horror movies. And instead it was just it was a little lighter. It was a light horror movie.
It was it had a little bit of humor to it. Yeah.
Which is okay. But the only thing I was trying to say is it's grown on me over the years. I like it a lot more now than I did when it first came out.
I put it in the same Halloween trick-or-treat basket as Bride of Chucky.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It was about the same time.
I would say Jason 10 is also in that range.
That goes right in the basket.
A lot of people hate it because that's the one where he went into space, but I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot.
It's okay, guys. He just wanted his machete back.
Evil gets an upgrade.
Evil gets an upgrade. Yes, dude. I remember watching that being like,
I was like,
I was so young when I saw that. That was the shit to me. Like I watched it as an adult and it was a little silly, but who cares? It was a fun film.
Well, in my head, because I've just kind of made this conclusion, number 10 is canon. Like it totally is canon. Because if you remember at the end of that film, Jason is falling and he falls to basically Earth 2 and lands back on that planet wherever humans are colonized there. So in my head, the remake, the 2009 Friday the 13th is a sequel to 10. It just takes place on Earth 2, and people are just like, oh, well, we're just like we do on Earth, and we just don't happen to see a spaceship.
I have to agree. Honestly, like I consider it canon because it's in the future.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, did you know that it was about a week or 2 ago, they wrapped the 8-episode Crystal Lake? It is filmed. It is in the bag. Now, obviously you have to edit it and they have to do post, but it's more tangible. It's happening.
Okay.
It is done filming. I'm so excited for Crystal Lake.
Me and my girlfriend watched the first episode of Welcome to Derry.
Well, Welcome to Derry.
Dude.
Good?
Great.
Okay.
Arguably, I want to say better, like scarier than the movies. The 2 new movies were.
Wow. Well, that is quite a praise. Now, we don't want to say too much because a lot of people haven't seen it yet. That just came out. But I heard they really leaned, because I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I heard they really leaned into the cosmic horror right off the bat. Like, it's not a slow burn. It's like scary right and immediate.
Well, I will say this. I don't think this is too much of a spoiler here. Everybody knows like the tortoise, right, is the whole backstory to like.
I don't think everyone knows that, but that was only in the book. It was not in the movies, so I think most people didn't know that. But
they did it in it too. They explained it.
They totally did not really explain. Not at all. Not even a little
Sorry,
bit.
I'm listening too much to my girlfriend.
So for those of you who don't know, there is a tortoise that is flying in space that basically puked up the universe in it. That is actually in the book. And forgive Stephen King. He was a wild man and was doing a lot of coke at the time. He admits it. It's not me talking shit on Stephen King. He will admit that he was out of his fucking gourd when he wrote that book.
That's true. And so it is what is pure evil. Like
it's the antithesis.
That needs to be. It needs to exist. Therefore, there is good.
Yeah, because the turtle is the good, and the antithesis of it is the purest of evil.
They referenced a lot with the turtle, is what I was going to say. Like literally constantly, her and I kept being like, "Oh my god, a turtle, a turtle!"
Is awesome.
Like they really so I feel like this show is going to be big time for the people who read the book, who like did their research into the lore of it. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of that, but man, it was scary. Like it was good. The acting is on point. Like, honestly, like I said, I almost already like it more
than the movies.
But I can't help but have this stance on it. This is the way I feel. You know how I feel about series. I don't like series as much as I like movies because I feel like they tend to lose direction as they try to come up with new episodes, in my opinion.
You know what? I will agree with you because I was a huge fan of Alien Earth. I loved Alien Earth. And I have to admit, they did not stick the landing. The last 2 episodes or 3 episodes of Alien Earth lost me. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just they kind of left the end open-ended. I don't really like what they did with the xenomorphs. So I hope it doesn't do that.
And I just experienced it with Ed Gein. We watched the Ed Gein story.
Sure.
Her and I, like, all the way through. And literally I agree full-heartedly. The last 3 episodes could have literally not even been there.
It just petered out.
It could have literally, they had the perfect ending.
And then they just kept going.
Well, because they had to, right? Because I'm sure it's some kind of contract where Netflix is like, oh, you have to make so odd episodes.
Yeah.
That's where my head goes. I could be wrong, but
no, but I see what you're saying.
Because it just felt forced. It didn't need to happen.
Well, jumping back to it real quick, Stephen King was asked once on social media that who was eviler, it or Randall Flagg, who was the villain in villain in The Stand, right? You know what? His answer blew my mind. You know what his answer was?
I was gonna say Randall Flagg.
His answer was, who's to say they're not the same person?
Son of a bitch.
What? That blew my mind.
It was always Randall Flagg?
Or it was always Randall Flagg, or Randall Flagg was always it. Maybe it was the same. His words were like, he used to say it's not the same entity. Yeah.
Mind blown right now. I'm not going to lie.
Mind blown.
My girlfriend reads every single Stephen King book there is, so I would love to hear her opinion on this.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure she'll tell you after she listens to the episode.
Yeah, and she does.
But hey, guys, do you want your mind blown? Because we got some alien stuff that actually really, the first story I found crazy. So we're going to jump into this week's
Disclosure Discussion. Ha 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 ha! It's about aliens and stuff.
File on bizarre Argentine UFO event deemed classified for national security reasons. This comes to us from coasttocoastam.com. In an eyebrow-raising story out of Argentina, a police report concerning a recent UFO incident involving mesmerized cattle has been deemed classified for national security reasons by government officials. Ooh. According to a local media outlet, the bizarre event occurred on August 14th in the village of Candoiti, when police received word that multiple residents had observed a white light with violet flashes floating over the community. An officer dispatched to investigate the UFO sighting was soon alerted to a strange commotion unfolding among the animals at a ranch along the way. Arriving at the location, he likely could not believe his eyes at the wondrous scene before him. To the astonishment to the officer and other witnesses, the ranch cows were eerily walking in a circle beneath the mysterious ball of light hovering overhead.
Yeah, see, that's just a really creepy image. So there is a movie called, once again to talk about Stephen King, there's a book he wrote called Cell. Well, they did a movie called Cell, and that's like cellular phones. And the movie was very different than the book. But the movie did this crazy imagery where all the crazy people were running around like a power line in some weird kind of flock circle. It was like a circle pit for like anyone who's a fan of ska music. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And that's kind of what I imagine, right? These groups of cows just kind of circling under the UFO. How weird would that image be?
Dude, cattle circle pit.
Yeah, they're just listening to ska movie, man. It's just Mustard Plug playing.
That's cool. So these cows are hip. Meanwhile, the property's horses were thrashing around in a manner suggesting that they were deeply disturbed by what was unfolding around them.
A normal mosh pit.
After a few minutes, the UFO suddenly vanished. Its disappearance seemingly broke the spell cast over the animals as the horses immediately calmed down and the cattle stopped their ritualistic circling.
Yeah. So I mean,
Cattle Ritualistic Circle. That
Yeah.
sounds like a metal band.
it does, and it sounds very Halloween. It's like they were having their own little seance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boo.
But I'm just the reason why I wanted to cover the story is it just seems cool because it's different. You know, we have a lot of UFO sightings, and a lot of them are, similar. They're, hey, we saw this thing in the sky, and then it would disappear, or it would move in a way that felt unnatural. But having a report of animals acting weird I just liked it because it was different, and it also made me wonder if there was some kind of connection between this and cattle mutilations. Like maybe this was the beginning of how they abduct the cattle, and we just never seen this behavior before.
Yeah, they maybe a ritual interrupted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So silence fell over the field, with the witnesses understandably wondering what they had just seen. As one might imagine, word of the weird incident quickly spread among the borders of Candoiti and caught the attention of Argentine UFO researcher Andrea Perez Simondini.
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you. Attempting to learn more about the odd August event, he filed an official information request for the police report from the officer that evening. The response surprised the seasoned UFO investigator, as he was told that the file was classified. Quote, because it is within the exceptions provided for public and national security reasons, end quote. If officials hoped that their answer would quell interest in the case, the tactic likely backfired, as it only made the incident all the more compelling.
Yeah, it's true, because what could be in that police report? I understand that, national security reasons, because they obviously didn't understand what was happening, and, I get it. I do. But sometimes it's better to hide something on a shelf in plain sight than it is to put it in the safe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We see that kind of crap all the time. Like with all these videos that we've seen, the Go Fast, the gimbal, whatever. We've all seen these videos, and they're so grainy. They're so fuzzy. And then we're told that there's a better video that they have somewhere, but we get that. That's what we get.
Yeah. Well, it's sometimes though there are actual answers. Last year in New Jersey there was all those UFOs kind of in the sky. Well, it looks like we might have an answer on this next story.
Company takes credit for UFOs over New Jersey, raises more questions. The swarms of unidentified aircraft over New Jersey late last year were classified tests approved by the military, according to a leak from an elite tech summit. A protected source told New York Post how one contractor claimed responsibility for the mysterious flying objects, which began baffling Garden State residents in November of 2024. Quote, you remember that big UFO scare in New Jersey last year? Well, that was us, end quote, says an employee of the contractor allegedly said. The Army UAS and Launched Effects Summit is an exclusive gathering of the military's top brass and the nation's best private contractors. During the event, an unnamed contractor also demonstrated a manned aerial craft with a unique design that makes it difficult to detect from certain angles. This potentially explains why so many reported the New Jersey UFOs vanishing suddenly while zipping across the sky. Although this alleged admission answers some questions, it raises several others, such as why the scale of the test was so large, and why there was an utter lack of transparency that confused even the state's top lawmakers and the FBI. The densely populated test area also has some wondering about the purpose of these exercises.
Okay, well, that's dumb. The purpose is it's military, okay? So it's a drone. They want to know if they can make a drone that disappears that people can't detect. Duh.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense.
That doesn't really need explanation. The thing is, like, I believe that this is probably the case because that makes sense. And if you believe in UFOs, you believe in cryptozoology, if you believe in any of that, you cannot ignore when answers are given, because those answers lead you closer to the truth.
That's true.
Just because these UFOs may not have been real doesn't mean UFOs aren't real. It just means there's an explanation for these. At the same token, on the other side, the other argument is, well, maybe they just are giving us an explanation that is not true, but just because it satisfies certain curiosities that people have. It could go either way, but I tend to believe this personally.
I have to agree. I believe that a lot of that was true, but I also you make a great point because it's just like sometimes you gotta accept even if it's not the answer you want.
Exactly.
It's probably true. Like okay, so we know drones are a thing. We know they're trying to figure out, like you said, how to make it so that they can't be detected.
Yeah, and
So that just makes sense.
it's so they can fly over foreign countries and drop vaccinations and food, not because of anything bad.
Of course not.
Wah.
Of course not.
That's it. I got nothing else, Ryan. I got nothing else. The cow story was cooler.
The cow story was pretty damn cool. And, Three-Eye Atlas, we'll see if we see it around the sun.
Ooh-doo-doo.
That's right, because
Yeah.
they said it was reverse thrusting.
That's such bullshit, man. They're telling every 2 seconds I see a post on Facebook about the James Webb telescope saw that it's gonna hit Mars. It saw it's headed for Earth. It saw it changed trajectory. It saw that it was blinking these lights. It saw that it was emitting this fuel. No, just no. I'm not saying it's not a mothership. I'm not saying it's not aliens. I'm saying every 2 seconds they're like, there's proof. No.
I saw the video of it doing the Macarena. Okay.
Oh.
So, and I know that was true.
Well, fair enough. So it extended little arms and did the babadi babadi
Yep,
Macarena.
yep.
Ooh babadi babada. I don't know the lyrics. Oh, fair enough. Okay,
Hey, Macarena, Three-Eye Atlas.
that's weird, Ryan.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, some things in life are weird though.
I kind of like the weird things in life.
Well, then you're gonna like this next segment, which we call
Real World Weird.
Husband to pay thousands in cat alimony after split from wife in Istanbul.
And you thought you had problems.
I do. This comes to us from Dexerto.com. A Turkish man has agreed to pay his ex-wife hundreds of dollars each year in cat support as part of the terms of their divorce. Divorce is never a fun process. Believe me, especially where finances are concerned. From alimony to child support and splitting assets, disentangling the lives of two married people gets complicated fast. However, one man's separation from his ex-wife is making headlines as he's agreed to help financially support the two cats they got when they were married in a unique custodial arrangement.
Yeah.
A man identified as Bugra B.
Yeah, these are Turkish names, and Ryan is not Turkish. He's going to do his best.
By Turkish news outlets have transferred custody of their two pets to his wife named Ezgi B in their divorce. As part of the compromise, similar to child support, he has agreed to pay Ezgi 10,000 liras, about $240 US dollars, every 3 months to help fund the animal's care for the next 10 years. 10 years with cats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Cats aren't
Yeah.
going to live that long. The oldest cat was like 25 years old. So I feel like 10 years is fair because, if they got the cat and they were married for 5 years, that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Oh, but what if you run out of cat alimony and they're like just really old cats and you're just like, how am I going to get him his arthritis medicine?
It gets expensive. Are you, dude?
It's true. And you know what? We love our pets. Most people aren't going to put their pet down until they have to. So
Yeah.
we'll pay for that $2,000 surgery to make that dog live just an extra week and a half.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this amount will be annually adjusted to match inflation. Not accounting for inflation, this means Bugra will likely end up paying $9,600 by the time the 10-year period comes to an end. The parties have agreed that the two cats belong to Bugra B will stay with Ezgi B. Court documents state, as long as the cats remain with Ezgi B, and in any case for up to 10 years, Bugra B will pay 10,000 liras per month for their care in quarterly installments.
That's right. But you know what kind of startles me is when they're like, it's going to be basically $10,000 over the next 10 years. That makes me never want to buy another pet. Like, I love my pets and stuff, but if I look at my dog Pogo and it's just like, Pogo, just owning you is going to cost me $10,000 over the next 10 years. And it's like, ooh.
Oh, you get those, you know what I mean? They need a tooth pulled.
Yeah,
Or
it adds
they,
up.
or it's something else happens. My freaking American bully pulled his ACL, like tore it. I had to get that repaired.
You shouldn't have
like,
let him play football. Don't sign the
dude,
permission slip.
You know what? He could have made it. He could have made it. He had a shot.
No, but I get it because my dog, he ate a pile of sauteed onions and garlic, which straight up will kill a dog. So
damn.
I know, because it was a topping for his steak, and he just kind of ate the freaking pile. We had to take We had to take him to the vet and get his stomach pumped. And to get a dog stomach pump, I don't know how much it is for a human, but it was like over $500. And that was just like one incident because my dog ate some crap when we weren't looking.
All for them to stick all these things that they have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to stick this tube down. That'll be $500. I get it. There's, there's knowledge involved, but still, my God.
It is insane. It is insane. But at the same time, it's like, do you want to give your dog a stomach pump?
No.
Yeah, well, then you're paying the money.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be a horrible human who watches their pet suffer, which, like I said, most people aren't like that. I mean, there's an occasional psychopath who dissects a squirrel in his backyard, but for the most part, people are empathetic to animals.
For the most part.
For the most part. At least pets. At least pets.
So, I don't even know how to segue to this.
Well, Ryan, you want to hear something else that's kind of weird?
Let's do it.
Number 2.
Husband and wife look so familiar that they're often getting mistaken for identical twins.
Creepy.
This comes to us from odditycentral.com. A young couple from China's Guangdong province has become famous for their uncanny resemblance, leading many people to speculate that they might be long-lost siblings.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes people just look alike.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Liang Kaiyu and He Jinsheng, both in their 20s, run an herbal medicine shop in Dongguan. Guangguan province. Doing my best. Although they both came from families with decades of experience in traditional herbal medicine, the two struggled to get their business off the ground until they started doing promotional clips on Douyin, China's version of TikTok.
Yeah, makes sense. Social media, man. Best way to advertise.
After noticing how similar they looked, Liang convinced her husband to take part in funny clips where they dressed alike to emphasize their likeness even more. Today, these clips are the couple's main promotional material for the shop.
And you know what? It works. It works. If you got a weird niche, go with it, man. If you have the whole if you just are a gentleman who happens to look like Sammy Davis Jr., you take pictures dressed as Sammy Davis Jr. and be like, hey, buy my herbal medicine.
I mean, why not?
Just why not? Why not? Use what you got, Ryan.
That's right.
Use what you got. You know who else used what they got?
Who?
A jeweler in a different state did something kind of weird in this final real world weird.
Jewelry store owner has 2-carat diamond embedded into his artificial eye.
Yeah, as one does.
After completely losing sight in his right eye, an Alabama jewelry store owner decided to personalize his new fake eye by having a diamond embedded in it. Alabama native Slater Jones might just have the world's most expensive prosthetic eye. After losing his right eye as a result of a terrible illness, the young jewelry store owner turned to eye prosthetic expert John Lim to create a custom artificial eye to truly reflect his identity as a jewelry designer.
His identity?
Yeah.
Oh, very funny. I wish it was spelt that way, like EYE identity.
Yes.
But they weren't that clever. The writer was not as clever as we are, Ryan.
They are not, Joe. So it's featuring a 2-carat diamond at its center. The unique gem eye sparkles when it catches the light, making it a guaranteed conversation starter wherever Jones goes.
I mean, let's be honest. That's going to get you laid. There's at least one, like, what is it, gold digger who's going to be like, ooh, well, he's got money. He's got a diamond in his eye.
I have to say, it's an interesting idea, right? Because it's like, I've always wondered, like, people who wear, like, Rolexes that are worth, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like, how do you think someone's not just going to chop your arm off to get that thing?
It's peacocking, right?
Right. But so he's got this diamond in his eye. Like, how could you go, like, That's actually kind of smart, I guess.
I mean, I don't know, man. That seems like a horrific way to be robbed. At some point, could someone ripping out your eye, like knock you out and pull out your... I know it's a fake eye, so it's not like it's going to be grossly connected to anything, but yeah, you're going to get robbed. Someone's going to take that.
It just feels like such a gross move to be like, I am going to pluck out your eye. Like just, I'm get in there with my fingers.
Yeah, but a 2-carat diamond, I'm not a thief, but if I was going to rip out someone's eye, that seemed, unless it was self-defense or something cool, like if I go all John Wick on something, but the idea that it was like, ho, I don't know how much 2-carat is. How much is a 2-carat diamond worth?
I'm guessing
I'm
a
not
lot.
a jeweler. Yeah, well,
yeah, I'm guessing a lot.
But it still seems like a risky move. It's like the dude who runs the mega church who has like all his gold chains and rings. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe not in public. Maybe, you're going to get robbed.
I guess we believe like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Just like a slap on the back of the head knocked out the one dude's eye. So you just give him a quick slap on the back of the head with your other hand in front, like, and you catch it. Got it.
Constantly whacking him in the back of the head, trying to get that out.
Oh, sorry, man. Just joking with you, man.
Treating your noggin like a bottle of ketchup with stubborn sauce on the bottom.
I don't know. That's weird, but you know what? I love weird shit, but good for him. I guess. I mean, right? Good for him. You can afford that.
And if you're wondering what this guy looks like, he is the whitest looking hillbilly I've ever seen based on just this very tight image of his face.
He looks a lot cooler when I cover the normal eye.
Okay.
Because he kind of looks like, I don't know, like a Mortal Kombat guy. Like,
bit,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he'd be shooting a laser out of the dang thing.
Like this guy, you're creeped out to be next to checking out at Walmart.
But then you cover the other side.
And then you cover the other side, and you're still creeped out next to him at Walmart, but you also think he's Raiden.
It's like, Jewel Eye. Fight! Fight! Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Test your might.
Test your might.
Mortal Kombat.
So, guys, that is the end of the first half of our show. We're going to have a quick little commercial break, and when we come back, we're jumping into everything pop culture and our wonderful interview with Ira Heiden. And he, of course, was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. So stay tuned and enjoy.
Enjoy indeed.
The historic town of Freehold, New Jersey is known for many aspects: a tight community, the talented Bruce Springsteen, beautiful architecture, and structures tracing back hundreds of years. We are even home to a famous teenage witch and her sassy black cat. Most importantly, we are known for the Battle of Monmouth, which is credited for turning the tide in the American Revolution. What isn't commonly known is, for some places in Freehold, their old residents never left. Freehold Ghost Tours takes you on a leisurely walk through downtown Freehold and shares with you dark history, hauntings, and legends of our beautiful town. Stories consisting of true accounts from current and former residents and business owners, snippets of the past left behind by the living and the dead. Come hop on the Dark History and Hauntings of Freehold tour. Dates and spots are limited. Tickets can be purchased on freeholdghosttours.com. That's freeholdghosttours.com. With ghost stories, history lives on forever.
Calling all comic fans, it's time to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics, where the freshest new issues, graphic novels, and manga hit the shelves every week. Whether you're looking for the hottest new series or the latest small press sensation, we've got it all. Every genre for every age, Green Brain Comics is your one-stop shop for all things graphic storytelling. Got questions? Our friendly staff knows their stuff. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the world of comics, we've got recommendations that'll keep you coming back for more. And don't forget to check out our special events. Green Brain Comics is not just a store, it's a community. Located in East Downtown Dearborn, we are at Green Brain Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shop online at greenbraincomics.com. And remember to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.
Earthling Entertainment Special Report 1. Robert Englund will receive a long overdue star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame this Halloween, October 31st, 2025. 2. Fantastic Four First Steps will premiere on Disney Plus November 5th. This has been Earthling Entertainment Special Report. Special Report. So fucking special. Wow.
Well, that was a little bit of a shorter special report. I think those gremlins only deserve half pay. You know
No.
they're going to hate that.
They're still in the budget. You don't even pay me.
It's fair enough. Well, no one got paid last week, so I guess we'll give them the full check.
Yeah.
But with that, guys, we are in our second half of the show, our pop culture section. And we're going to start everything off with this wonderful interview with Ira Heiden, who, of course, played Will in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Ryan, tell us a little bit about the man.
Ira Heiden is an actor, producer, and voice actor. Born in New York City, he took his talents to Los Angeles, where manager Marilyn Sherman discovered him at John McEnroe vs. Jimmy Connor's tennis match. Ira's first job to get the Screen Actors Guild was a Pepsi commercial played in movie theaters. He went on to star in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, as Will Stanton. He has been on TV shows such as Family Ties, Step by Step, oh, I know him there, and Elias as CIA agent Rick McCarthy.
That's right. And here we are, sitting down. Hey guys, I'm sitting here with Ira Heiden, and he is a magnificent actor well known in the horror community. You may know him as Will from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic, Joe. How are you?
I can't really complain. My entire family actually got sick, and surprisingly, I have not yet. So I'm thinking tomorrow, the next day, it's a ticking time bomb.
Last man down.
Yeah, it's always the way it is.
Or last man standing, as it is.
Well, I'm so happy you could be on the show. This is our Halloween episode, and it's actually all surrounded around nightmares, and it's why you're perfect for this.
That's pretty scary, Joe.
You know what? It usually is, but that's what we try to do on this show. So the great thing is our first half being all paranormal and our second half being pop culture, it lends itself very well to the horror genre. And you are actually, I mentioned already, in probably my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. And I just wanted to know, as a young actor, when you first started, when this first came about, how was the audition process? Was it something that you just came and read for, knowing what it was, or did they have a code name, or how did that go for you?
No, back then you got the script, you got the whole thing, and there was no code name, much to the chagrin of when I did get work on Ghostbusters. Finding out that I got this voiceover job, I had no idea what the project was, and it was AKA Ghostbusters. So no, back then, actually that was Ghostbusters Afterlife. Back then, my manager would call me and say, okay, we got an audition for you. And then she would tell me the project, and I would get my audition material and study it. And then I would go in and read. She made me go in first and meet with Annette Benson, who is the casting director on Nightmare 3. And she liked me, so she's like, yeah, let's bring him back. And I felt like I had a grip on the role, Joe, because I used to play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons in high school and middle school and stuff like that. So when I saw that I was going to be the wizard, Gandalf was actually my favorite wizard growing up. So this was like a no-brainer, easy peasy. And just, I kicked into high gear and met with Annette, and then she put me on tape, and then I met with Chuck Russell, and then he brought me back in on the final time to meet Bob Shea. And it was a long, lengthy process, but it turned out to be an incredible one.
Well, excellent. I'm a Radagast man myself when it comes to wizards, but I will say Gandalf, classic. But as your character, as the wizard master, was there a particularly fun day or time on set that you had while making Nightmare 3?
Well, I mean, there were two clearly memorable moments from making this film. One has to be the death scene. Oh my gosh, I'm in my own place and I turn into the wizard master and try to blow the hell out of Freddy, and it doesn't work, unfortunately. But the scene earlier, I think was my first really powerful scene is when I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with Joey and Taryn. With Rodney Eastman and Jennifer Rubin. And, I'm trying to guide them and coax them in through this game and stuff. And they couldn't give a shit about it, obviously. But I felt like it was my chance to actually show my powers and like, okay, you're being attacked by the bog demon. Go ahead. So I felt like I got really, really into the role, and those are my two favorite scenes, pretty much.
Well, that's awesome. I believe that though, because being in that situation where someone who's locked up, and this is obviously before everyone had video games and phones, stuff like that. All you had, I imagine, as a kid in a situation like that would be your imagination.
Totally, Joe. Could you imagine if, like, back then we had like our phones, if we were sitting on our iPhone in Dream Warriors? That would be an epic, like, brand new Dream Warriors. Okay, Kincaid, I'll be right there. I'm almost done. Almost. Oh man, he beat me. Damn it. Yeah.
It's funny because my only experience playing Dungeons and Dragons was with a dungeon master over Zoom. So I
Oh
was playing
wow.
on an app. We had the little maps and everything like that. So a lot of fun, very different experience, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, just growing up, I mean, it was like, you had the book and you rolled the dice and you had the whole thing. And then, yeah, there were lots of choices to go. And how many hit points did you take from that damn demon biting your neck?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will say, in your death scene, it seemed like Freddy rolled a natural 20 on that one. Just saying.
Bastard.
Bastard.
Bastard. Every time I see Robert, I was like, dude, you got lucky. You got lucky because I should never have ran at you. I should have used my powers away from you. But I just got too carried up in the hype and everything.
It could happen to anyone, honestly. But as the wizard master, that was your character's powers we talked about because he was a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons. But what if you, Ira, yourself, in your dream, what would be your dream warrior power?
I mean, not to stray from anything, Joe. I mean, it would be a wizard. It would be able to take that, although healing would be a really good thing. But if you are a wizard, you can also heal. So that's where the wizard master comes in because, it's not just like an orc, or I'm not an orc, or a gnome where, he's a little dude and he's almost got so much things. The wizard, I really feel like, has the whole gamut of stuff.
And I was rewatching the film, obviously, before this interview, and it was mentioned by the Nancy character that all the Elm Street kids, the surviving Elm Street kids at that time, could have these powers because it was something that they always had in their dreams. And I just couldn't help but think that I always flew in my dreams, and I don't think that would be helpful. I would just be running away from Freddy the whole time. So I appreciate your go at it attitude with the lightning, the green lightning zapping. I mean, it was intense. I could see.
Thanks, Joe. That night that we did that scene, we shot across from the county jail downtown LA in a warehouse that they built all these different sets about, and it was creepy, man. It was very creepy. It was dark. Robert was trying to crack jokes, and I'm trying to be a serious actor, about to get killed. He's telling me, "Did you hear the one about blah blah blah?" And he's saying, "Oh, I just bought this great house in Laguna Beach, and I drive my convertible Mustang back and forth." I'm like, "Dude, you're not helping me get ready for this scene." But yeah, there's some great times, Joe, and it's just crazy if you really think about it. What was that? That was like 38 years ago. I mean,
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
still
it was
holds up.
87.
Yeah, it still holds up.
Oh, it absolutely does. I wasn't kidding when I said it was my favorite one. But so how was working with Robert Englund besides the death scene, just in general? I mean, on set, you say he was a joking around kind of guy.
Well, he said that I was the Woody Allen on speed on set, gambling and running around and stuff. But it was pretty amazing. And I was so young, I didn't get a chance to really sit back and take in Robert Englund.
Sure.
But now that we've done so many of these conventions, horror conventions together, and he actually came and helped me. I produced Robert Englund and the Dream Warriors. We raised 20 grand. We had the reading of the Nightmare 3 at the Whiskey a Go Go for mental health awareness. Um, but watching Robert now and listening to him, the man is a genius. The man knows so much. He has so much knowledge on everything that literally I've learned when I see him, just shut up, have a glass of wine, and watch him go, because he just is such a wonderful person, an incredible dude that knows so much about, like I said, about everything.
Awesome. Well, we talked a little bit about your death scene. And
Hmm.
I just, the thing that really struck me in that one was the oversized, spiky wheelchair, which makes sense would be Will's nightmare fuel, considering he had been recently confined to the chair. It's never explicitly said, but I assume he did that little jump because he was trying to escape from Freddy, if you will. And how was that in real life? How much of that was you? How much of that was a stunt man? Did you dive out of the way? Walk me through it a bit if you don't mind.
That was all William Perry, my stunt double.
Oh yeah.
Who also was my stunt double in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Um, yeah, that was a really intricate work with the wheelchair, work with not getting caught in the railway, that it's being pulled by these wires. So that I stepped out at that point, no. But I mean, I certainly had a lot to do. I think I had an initial run, so they had that. Um, but Joe, those things, there were two wheelchairs and they were almost 6 feet. And it was so scary. Spikes, and I mean, just everything, and the mace on the end. It was crazy. Um, it really was a sight to be seen. And if you go on my Instagram page, I have a lot of pictures on there, and it shows, like, I took a picture with my actual camera, not my phone. Um, of the two, and it was really awesome. And some dude, I think in Texas, owns one.
You just bought the old prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
amazing what you can find, what the studios throw away over time. I
it's kind of crazy.
absolutely. How many days did your death scene take for you personally?
I mean, we shot one night, so that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was really it. Personally, it took me a good, I would say, 15 days to get ready.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Emotionally, I
you
imagine.
know, I had a great coach, my cousin David Shacker, who had me working on the scene day and night, and over and I have videotape of it all too, of my audition process. I got to release that at some point. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of emotional um, trudging through death, and um, I think it turned out okay.
I think it did too. And obviously so did the fans. I mean, whether you guys knew it at the time, this really changed the trajectory of the Nightmare series into the more fantastic. And I feel like your character in particular was a big part of that. So thank you very much. But how was your experience with the fans post Nightmare? How is all these conventions, all these appearances? How is telling, for instance, right now, you're telling me a story you probably said a billion times. Does it get old? Do you enjoy it? How is it?
No, it doesn't get old, Joe. I mean, if you think, I mean, just the questions that you're asking brought me right back to the fact that, I did study hard. And, I don't always say that it was my cousin David who videotaped me so I could rewatch it over and over again on VHS. So yeah, I mean, I think every interview, every fan, sometimes you pull out different things, and it's a wonderful process. Are you kidding me, Joe? I mean, I'm sitting here, like I said, 38 years later, talking about a movie that I did, and I get to fly across the country. I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Scarefest with Robert, with
Awesome.
Heather, with Bradley Gregg, with Jennifer Rubin, with Kincaid, Ken Sagos, and a ton of other nightmares people. But it's an amazing thing that is, the fans are phenomenal, and they're true fans. It's so great.
You
So it's
know,
wonderful.
I'm glad the horror community has embraced you because if the horror community adopts you, then you're in for life. That's the bottom line.
I see
Um,
that. Yeah.
well, you have a bunch of other credits. Okay, would you please talk a little bit about Elvira?
Ah, yes. Gosh, she's my best friend, I tell you. Um, Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Such a great segue after I filmed. It's so funny because when I was working on Nightmare on Elm Street, I also was auditioning for a movie called Illegally Yours. And I remember getting my beeper and it was beeping, and I had to call from the payphone. And my manager said, "You booked the job. You're playing Rob Lowe's brother in a Peter Bogdanovich film," um, which was a whole nother experience, Joe. And then I came back to LA and did a Family Ties episode, and then auditioned for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And so that was a cool experience because, well, first of all, it's Cassandra Peterson, Elvira. Not too
Yeah.
bad to look at, right, Joe?
Not at all. Not at all.
Second of all, a hysterical person. I mean, she is downright funny. Um, and then third, a heavy roller. And I love rock and roll. So we talked a lot about stuff like that. And yeah, to get that job was a blast. And to play the geeky guy with the glasses, which were the same glasses from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, by the way.
Oh yeah, were they yours, or did you just take them off set?
They're mine.
Fantastic.
They're mine. I still have them somewhere. And it was great. I mean, to get to work with her and to get to work with Kurt Fuller, Edie McClurg, and became super good buddies with Chris Cam, and Scott was in there, and Ellen, and as we were the kids in the town. It was a real interesting, incredible moment in time. Yeah, she's super, super cool.
Excellent. What was there anything on that set that you found particularly difficult, or some obstacle you had to overcome?
Well, we had one scene where we were like outside and we wanted to like take a picture of her naked, and we were like climbing up her window, and they had us working at like, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were in Burbank at NBC, or not NBC, at Warner Brothers, and it was cold, and then we had rain coming down on us, so that was a bit of a challenge, and we had to climb up and act like we're looking through and stuff. And of course, Cassandra wasn't there then. They had a stunt double at 1 o'clock in the morning. I really would have thought that she would be there. I would have thought that she might have just been right there for us, like we were there for her.
Yeah. Just to show support, right?
Yes, and she needs a lot of support. So it was a pretty tough scene, but we got through it.
So tell me a little bit about Father of the Bride. I mean, Steve Martin film. I mean, he's a legend. How was working on that?
First of all, Steve Martin was my favorite and still is my favorite comedian growing up. His whole thing with Wild and Crazy Guy, and his tyrant on Saturday Night Live, where he would just go crazy and they would go, "Well, excuse me." So I had the chance to audition for that because I believe it was the oh my God, the set designer, or was she the wardrobe person for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, said, "Oh, you got to go in and audition for this." I was like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah!" So I got to go in, and they put me on tape, and they liked it, and then I got to go back on set and meet Charles and Nancy and audition for them on set, and they ended up picking me. I was super duper psyched. We worked out of this Ralph's supermarket in Burbank, which is now Vaughn's. And I felt like I was a stock boy in Florida before I came out to LA for acting. So I knew how to be a stock boy and everything. So
little did you know you were researching for the role.
Right. And I'm a little nervous because it's my first time meeting Steve Martin. And also, my first line in the movie is, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" And I think I'm going to be funny, Joe. Do you know what the key to comedy is?
Trying not to be funny?
No, it's timing. So it's 6:30 or 7 a.m. in the morning, and we're running through rehearsal, and everyone is just kind of putting things together. And the director goes, "Okay," and the AD goes, "All right, let's just run through this." And action, Steve comes out, and he's faking ripping open the hot dog buns, and I scream at the top of my lungs, "Excuse me!" Crickets. And then I heard, "All right, back to one. Let's try this again." I got a smirk out of Steve, but from that point on, I would just hit my mark, hit my lines, didn't mess around. Like maybe if I'd waited till like after lunch or something, you
Sure,
know,
sure. But like you said,
excuse
timing.
me. Oh, that funny day player stock boy. Yeah, but not at 6:30 or 7 in the morning. Oh well. Hey, you know what though? You got to try, right?
Absolutely. I bet you wish though you had one of those fake arrows that go through your head. You could have popped up and done it that way. Maybe that would have been the key.
Maybe that would have been the key. Maybe it would have been, excuse me, sir, King Tut. How to do the funky, funky Tut. you know, that would have been good. Or what if I had just rolled right into, excuse me, sir, what are you, Grandpa? Bought a rubber.
Just do all the bits, man.
All of them, right? Oh my gosh. I would never would make it as a coach in football on first down. I like to punt. His first album, Wild and Crazy Guy, just was amazing.
That's awesome. Well, it's not just movies. Obviously, you've done a lot of things. You've done a lot of one-off TV shows, but you actually had a 7-episode stint on Alias.
Ooh,
And
so, yes.
yeah, I was curious. Could you tell me a little bit how it was playing Rick in Alias for those 7 episodes?
It was awesome. It started out as CIA Techie number one. And then
You got a name, sir.
I got a name. My gosh, I got to work with Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know Terry?
I'm a huge Lost fan and I like Stepfather, so yes.
Stepfather. That's where I learned about him. I mean, my God, he was awesome in Stepfather,
Yeah.
Wait a second. Who am I here? Johnny? Ah, yes, Johnny. I mean, it was so great. And there was a point where he was telling me something, and he's like, "Oh, wait a second. Wait, I forgot what I was saying." And it just took me right back to, oh my God, it's him from Stepfather. So to get to work with him was amazing. Victor Garber, Jennifer Garner, super, super talented, such a great person. Michael Vartan, who I was in acting class with before. And so we knew each other, but we didn't let anybody know that we knew each other. And there was one day that we were working, and it's in the morning, and I'm bringing Jennifer and Michael through the whole thing. And I'm like, yes, this is where you'll see it up here on the screen, what happens with some tech stuff and surveillance. But I messed up my line. It was just in the morning, and Michael stops everybody in the middle of just rehearsal. He goes, "Geez, don't you just hate day players that can't get their damn lines right?" And Jennifer was like mortified. Everybody was like, "Oh my, why would he do?" And then he's like, "I'm just kidding. I know Ira. Ira and I know each other." So
That was probably a tense few seconds, though, I'd say.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, that was an incredible run. My friend Meredith married this guy Jesse Alexander, and Jesse was a writer and producer on that show, and so that's how I actually ended up getting a chance at the job. And one gig turned into 7. So, and then actually, if you want to know, 8, because they reused part of my other stuff. So, um, but it was such a great experience, and I was dating at the time my wife now, and Tamara, and getting to go over to Disney Studios, and we were all in our suits and our tech suits and stuff, and the stage right next to us, they were doing Pirates of the Caribbean. So the night the people were jousting and fighting the pirates, and we were in our suits. It was a really good time to think back to that time on the set.
That's cool, man. I wanted to know though, with all your TV work and all your movie works, what is the main difference between the workloads as an actor?
I don't think there is much. I mean, the only difference that I felt is like when you have to do Family Ties, you rehearse, 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 and then it's in front of a live audience. Um, Movies, just, you just continue, I don't think there's any different, I mean, other than different setups.
Sure.
And
Maybe
for Alias, it was basically the same as shooting a movie. I mean, no live stuff, but yeah.
How was live stuff? Do you like performing in front of a live studio audience? I know it's not done as
I
much.
get scared. I get scared, man. It's nerve-wracking, but it's really cool once you do it. And I again, Family Ties was just such an amazing time to get to work with Michael J. Fox and Justine Bateman. I did the episode when Mallory was running for student president, and it was so much fun. We were like her helpers. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, you actually mentioned at the beginning of this conversation that you were in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I was going to bring that up. You played all the little mini marshmallow, right? Or did you play most of them, or all of them, one of them?
A bunch of them, not
A
all
bunch
of
of them.
them.
Sure.
Yeah, there was a couple that there was a lot of healthy voiceover artists doing a lot of those.
Fair.
Uh, the Crypt Keeper, John Kassir,
Sure. Yeah.
and a lot of other people. So working on Ghostbusters, I originally reached out to Jason Reitman because we used to play broomball together, um, and he was. I heard that he was getting ready to direct that movie, and so I reached out to him, and I hadn't heard from him for 11 months, and I was like, it's not going to happen. Whatever. And then I get
It was good to throw it out there.
yeah, and then I get an email. Oh my gosh, Ira, I'm so sorry. I've been super duper busy. Imagine that, Jason Reitman busy. Um, so he wrote back and said, "Yeah, of course, we'll bring you in and do. We're gonna have you do some ADR work because that's what I've done a ton of. You know, the background voices, Joe, that you see at restaurants or people passing by
Sure. Yeah.
behind the lead actors. Well, there's a lot to be made in as a living doing that." Um, and I did this TV show Code Black. I did ADR work on that show for 3 seasons. So I had done that a lot. Actually, my very first ADR work was on a movie called Dead Poets Society.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
Captain, my Captain.
that's right. And then to bring it full circle, I got to work with Ethan Hawke on Alias. Um, so Jason said, "Yeah, we're going to bring you in to do ADR work." So I worked from 10 till 3. It was great. And then everybody left and they said, oh, Ira, you have to stay. Jason requested for you to stay and play these other characters. I had no idea. I had
Yeah.
no idea what it was. And then literally 8 other actors start popping up because they're all on Zoom. And I'm actually at the studio in Burbank looking at everybody, and Jason's at home. And then I said, So what are we doing? Oh, you're going to be voicing these mini marshmallows, the mini Stay Puft characters." I was like, awesome. This is going to be cool. And I have to tell you, it was the best voiceover experience I have had to this day. Jason is an incredible director. He just knows exactly what he likes, what he doesn't like, and then throws in ideas, and then let us run with different things. So when we were all on the Roomba acting like we were, go-kart racers, it was a blast.
It was definitely a highlight of that film, I will say. Yeah, very cool, man. And then, even though this is the Halloween episode, and I think we've done a great job at sticking to that. So let's just move a little bit to another holiday. I wasn't going to bring this up, but it's got one of the greatest titles I've ever heard in my life. So I wanted to ask you about Raven Van Slender Saves Christmas. Could you please tell me a little bit about that?
Well, my friend James, he directs a ton of these short, little, crazy, fun things. And so I got to be, oh my gosh, I don't even remember exactly what it was. This crazy character. And I had an evil
Your name was
twin.
Ice.
Yeah. And I think I had an evil twin. And I mean, it was just bizarro. But the greatest thing about James is he has you coming in and like I did one of his short films and I worked with Eric Roberts. I played his assistant, and so I mean, it's really fun. Yeah. So there you have it.
Well, you know what, man? That was a great title to a film, and I'm putting that on my list right now. I gotta
Good.
be honest. Well, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say, but I really appreciate you being on the show. It was wonderful for the Halloween episode, but I wanted to ask, is there any upcoming event that you wanted to promote? I know you just said that you have an appearance coming up.
So that's going to be a blast. And then, gosh, I have a couple other things I could plug too.
Yeah, go for it.
Producing an awesome documentary on my buddy Brandon Lee that is going to be called Starring Brandon Lee, and that will probably be out next year at some point. I'll be posting lots of stuff about that. Did a small role in a movie called Keep Quiet with Lou Diamond Phillips. And that supposedly is getting really good reviews. And some people are saying it's Lou's best work ever.
Awesome.
And Lou has been a buddy of mine for like 35 years.
See if you can get on in Young Guns 3, just throwing it out there.
They are working on that in a few months in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Which
Do
is
another
cool.
throw in your hat in the ring, just saying.
Yeah, I know, you're right. And then the other thing that I did that won't be out till next Christmas, not this Christmas, it's called Catnip, where I play Bruce Dern's son.
Nice.
And it's starring Chevy Chase. It's starring Jake Busey. It's starring Joey Lauren Adams.
Love it.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun thriller. But yeah, you can check out all this at The Real Ira Heiden, REEL. Ira Heiden at on Instagram and also Facebook, and I think I also have a website, but I think that's just Ira Heiden.
Great. Well, you know what? We're going to wrap up here with the question I've been asking everybody lately when we have an interview. If money wasn't an issue, you had the money, you had the backing, you could go anywhere, you could do anything, you could play anyone, what movie would you make?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I really like the movie Being There, Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
I would love to play that role. I would love to be in that role. That would be super cool. In a world that really wouldn't come down on things, I would love to remake Blazing Saddles. That's my favorite movie.
Sure.
I'm
a young Frankenstein guy myself.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So yeah, and somehow I would get to work with Mel Brooks and Steven Spielberg, and I would bring you in, Joe, as an extra in the background who gets killed.
Hey, I'll take it. Well, man, thank you again for joining us. And from everyone here at Earthling Entertainment, see ya.
See ya.
Well, how do you like that?
Dude, the Steve Martin story was awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because I wasn't actually even going to bring that up. And then, when we were talking beforehand, he's like, I got a good story there. And I'm like, all right, Father of the Bride all the way.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. One of my favorites.
I thought so. They did a weird remake recently. I didn't actually see it, but it was a made for streaming movie, and I keep meaning to check it out. There's a bunch of movies I've been meaning to check out. But you know what? Let's take a break from movies. This is entertainment. It's our entertainment section, and there's a lot of things in entertainment more than just movies. For instance, music.
That's right.
Oh, and Ryan, I know you've been mentioning, because you love nightmares, that you wanted to talk a little bit about something in particular. You know what? I'm not going to get into it. We're going to let you take it away. Here is Ryan's
Music Mumbles.
So it's not a surprise that King Diamond is a big artist for me. I love what he does. For our Voodoo episode, I talked about his album Voodoo.
Yeah. So for our listeners who may not be aware of King Diamond, who is King Diamond, Ryan?
King Diamond, he started in, oh my gosh, I can't even remember his first band, but the big one was Merciful Fate.
Okay.
And then he went to do a solo career, and he's kind of always been, honestly, the real Satan guy, like, to put it plainly, like, where everybody else was like using it for their music, for fun lyrics, for like, edgy stuff. He straight up was all about it.
Yeah, like, okay, so it's like, if you think was it Ozzy Osbourne?
Slayer.
Yeah, if you think they were evil, hold our beer.
Pretty much.
Got it, yeah.
All of his albums are what is known as a concept album, where they tell a story from beginning to end.
Okay.
And that's what I've always loved about his writing. So I'll go ahead and dive right in. King Diamond's Nightmare, keeping in with the theme of today. For this week's Music Mumbles, I wanted to keep it within the theme of nightmares. The heavy metal artist King Diamond had a nightmare and wrote a whole album about it. So this is the story of the Puppet Master, which came to him in a dream. I will tell his story track by track, as experienced when you listen to the album.
All right, so strap in, guys, for a audible tale.
Track 1, Midnight. It's midnight. King is looking at the snow falling in the cold winter night. He is thinking back in time, back to when he still had a life filled with love and joy. But he is also thinking back to the cellar and the puppet show, the show that ruined his life. Track 2, The Puppet Master. It's Christmas night in Budapest. King and his love Victoria are waiting in line with a large number of guests who have all come to see the magic of the Puppet Master. They have entered the theater. It's very dark with only a few gas lamps on stage. They're all waiting anxiously for the puppets to enter the stage. The curtains then begin to rise and the puppets enter onto the stage. However, something seems odd. The puppets are all human size. King takes a brief look at the Puppet Master on the walkway over the stage. The Puppet Master suddenly lets go of the strings. But the puppets keep on moving. No strings, none of them fall. No strings at all. King is beginning to get scared. Something isn't right. Something evil is lurking. He looks at the puppet drummer boy, and the puppet looks right back at him. King proceeds to take a close look at the puppet. He realizes blood is running from the drummer boy's hand. King is now petrified. The show is over and the Puppet Master enters the stage. He bows as the curtain falls. King will never forget that night. Track 3, Magic. King and his love are standing in the snow outside of the theater. They are both convinced that what they saw was magic. They keep talking in the cold winter night. They are now standing alone in the dark outside of the theater. They then kiss. After a ghost whispered into King's ear, "Kiss her now." And they fall in love. A year later, King's love has gone to the puppet theater alone, but she never came home. King has to find her.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. If I personally went to a show and I saw alive marionettes and I was convinced they were evil and they were kind of bleeding and human size, I just maybe not have gone there alone. So I don't know what King's love was thinking, but seems like probably not a good idea.
It like plays out like a Tales from the Crypt.
It does feel very
You
Tales from
know?
the Crypt, yeah.
So track 4, Emerencia. King has returned to the theater to find his love. Behind the theater, he finds some stairs. The stairs lead down to the cellar below the theater. He looks down the stairs to see the Puppet Master's wife, Emerencia, with a knife in her hand. Emerencia walks up the stairs and he hides. And then she heads down the dark alley. King shadows her. He then hears a man screaming and he can't believe what he sees. A homeless man with a knife in his chest. And Emerencia is standing right above the poor homeless man.
Okay, so his love, who was disappeared, is now murdering people, probably by the...
No, Emerencia is the wife of the Puppet Master.
Oh.
So he still hasn't found his love.
Okay, all right.
And it was mentioned in the song, and it's not written here, but I have to add. He was like, "In darkness, blood is black, not red." I don't know, that was just like a cool part because he sees the blood coming out of the homeless man. So Emerencia then wraps the man in a sack she brought and puts him on the cart. He follows her into the cellar of the theater. King can't believe his eyes when he sees what can only be described, that he can describe as a horror show. He then feels a sudden blow on the back of his head, and then everything goes black.
I'm imagining the doink.
In the album, he makes like a great noise. It's like, and then the blow. Oh! 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 He does like that. He does falsettos. So like,
I love
it was great.
Don't fuck with the Puppet Master and his wife, apparently.
That brings us to track 5, Blue Eyes. I love this song. King opens his eyes. He can barely see nor he can move. His hands are tied to the wall on an iron chain. He's in the cellar. His eyes start to get stronger, and now he can see puppets everywhere. Puppets made of human skin. All of the puppets look at King, and he's now terrified. Hundreds of puppets made of human flesh and bones are sitting on the shelves and staring at him.
They're like dead body marionettes.
But there's a specific set of blue eyes he can recognize. It's the eyes of his love, Victoria. King breaks out in tears and he screams. He has never been this scared before.
Damn. I got nothing. That sucks.
In the night,
You know,
they see nothing, and yet they're so alive.
it's very beautiful and it's very poetic, but I have seen I've loved my wife. I've seen other people and I've looked in their eyes. I don't know if I'd recognize eyes. Like if you have like a very distinct color, like if they were violet or something that was very strange,
I have to
might
agree.
I might be like, "Oh my god, those are those eyes." But it's like my wife's eyes are kind of, brownish, and it's like, how would I know?
I hate. I'm the same way. I've never been one to recognize eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx.
I mean, they're all about the same size. I mean, they vary in color, but very slightly. It's not like I said, someone has this wildly different color or like a swirl. I guess if he had mentioned like, my wife had a scar across her pupil and it gave her a cat eye, and then I saw the same cat eye, I'd be like, okay, I'm with you. I'm on board.
Cat eyes.
My cat eye lady. Oh, King
Fight-
Diamond.
Fighter of the night. Lady. So I'm sorry. So that brings us to track 6, The Ritual. While King is sitting against the wall, crying of sorrow and fear, the door opens. The puppet master himself and his wife, Emerencia, enters the room. King looks around the room. He sees a strange symbol on the wall and an altar with a few black candles lit. Besides the puppets made of human flesh, stands a shelf with black jars. There's a jar for every puppet.
Oh, because at night the blood is black.
That's right. The puppet master starts speaking in a strange language. King feels a strange feeling coming from inside, like his soul is burning, like a demon is trying to take control of his mind. In panic, King kicks down the shelf of jars. The jar breaks on the floor. The red blood covers the floor. As the jars interrupt the ritual, it stings in his eyes and it feels like he's been given eternal life. He feels some kind of magic inside. Track 7, No More Me. Why am I strapped to this hospital bed? King says in fear. First your eyes, then your skin. We will make you feel born again, says the puppet master. King fears for his life as he sees a sharp scalpel in the puppet master's hand. Emerencia is holding an empty jar. She is ready to catch his blood. The puppet master starts cutting out his eyes. There's blood everywhere. He places his eyes in a puppet on the shelf. King can still see through his eyes. He is forced to look at the puppet master ripping off the skin off of his old body, and he can still feel the pain. The puppet is now complete. King is alive inside of the puppet. He cannot move, only see. Emerencia dumps the corpse into a trash container and leaves the room with her husband.
All right. So basically, we get this guy, we cut out his eyes, we put the eyes in the puppet, we skin his body, put the skin on the puppet,
Yep.
and now basically his soul and consciousness is transferred to the puppet?
As long as you have the blood.
Ooh, the blood in the jar. This is why you don't put a 2-carat diamond in your fucking eye.
Well put, sir. And
God damn you, Alabama jeweler! You're in for a puppeting.
And honestly, what a perfect time to start. Track 8, Blood to Walk. King is sitting on the shelf as a puppet. He looks around the dark room and he sees his beloved Victoria. Suddenly, the puppet master and his wife enter the room. Hello, my children. In blood, I will teach you, the puppet master says. He takes Victoria and puts her down on the floor. He attaches strings to her head, arms, and legs. He then does the same to King. The puppet master then pour blood into the two puppets. And then they both feel alive again. They can move. The two lovers communicate with their eyes. They're alive. That's enough for today. Put them away. The puppet master then says and leaves the room.
Well, if we could harness the power of blood, then we would be great, right? Because apparently it is like a battery. You pour it into a puppet, now the puppet has energy. The puppet can move. You know what I'm reminded of? There was this sci-fi show. It was very short-lived. It was called Blood Drive. And it was this like cross-country race. It was kind of a horror show. But they used actual blood to run their vehicles. Like they would grab a body and throw it in the engine and it would grind them up and it would be blood. And it would run. Yeah. Seemed very metal to me.
It's pretty fucking metal.
I'd say so. Let's talk about the next track.
Dude, let's. So, and I also I watched an interview with King, and King actually released with this album. It came with a DVD with him in front, with full makeup in front of candles telling this whole story.
That's cool.
And the way he explained it was like when they injected the blood into them, it was like using their skin like muscle. They had to use how to tighten their skin to move, to bend.
Oh, I see. Because the only part of them is the eyes and the skin over wood stuffing doesn't matter. So I get that. So like the tightening of the skin is how would they move their joints?
And they had to relearn how to walk, how to do it all like through this crazy ritual.
Wow. I mean, you got to hand it to the guy for remembering a nightmare so detailed that he was able to write a whole album of it. Because even my craziest nightmares, if I was to wake up and write it down real quick, I don't have this much detail. You got to wonder how much of it was like after he thought about it afterwards, or how much he actually remembered from the nightmare.
That's a good question. No, if I ever get to talk to King, I will ask him that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So that brings us to track 9, Darkness. 13 days have King and his love trained with the puppet master. The same routine every day. Pour blood into the puppets so they come to life. They try to walk and dance. After an hour, their life fades away again, and they are put back on the shelf.
Got to use some more of that blood.
King and Victoria still communicate with their eyes. It's everything they have now. It's like their brain is attached to their eyes, or their soul. The puppet master enters the room. Tonight, you will dance for me, puppet girl. Tonight, no strings attached. But I can't. Never did I dance, so I don't have a chance. Dance, the puppet master commands. Victoria tries to dance. She stumbles into the shelves with the blood jars, and 6 of them falls down. 6 lives just wasted. The puppet master is furious. He demands, send that puppet to Berlin.
Oh, damn. I don't know. So he takes all of my blood if I'm turned into a puppet, and he's just got this jar, and he totally uses it until it runs out. And then what? Do you think he just discards them and gets a new puppet person? You know what I mean? Because you only last as long as the blood
is there.
Huh.
And well, I mean, I assume that this demon, right? This is and he even it was mentioned in the album
master is described
that
as
it's a demon that he surely knows, was a line that he said. So I assume that it has something to do with the blood, that why the blood doesn't coagulate or whatever, doesn't dry up, is that there's a life. There's like a
soul connected to it.
Yes.
All right. So if you think those jars, when they hit the ground, when his love accidentally knocked him over and it was like, 5 souls are wasted or whatever, I'm imagining the end of the 1995 Mortal Kombat where it's just a bunch of souls flying in the air. Wee! Thank you, Liu Kang.
Thanks.
You're the shit.
That guy was weird.
Yeah. I'm totally stoked not to be hanging on a wall anymore. Bye.
That takes us to track 10.
Finally.
So sad. Victoria and King both sad about the awful news. Victoria is all King has left. He can't survive without her. They are talking about their good memories together. They are talking about a butterfly they had once found. The butterfly had wet wings and couldn't fly. However, they dried the wings so it survived and could fly again. You must remember the butterfly. It did not die, King says. For the last time they say, I love you. And then she says, I can't see you anymore. And she fades away forever.
Sad.
Track 11, Christmas.
Oh,
It's-
okay. Well, fuck. We're good. We're good.
It's Christmas again. Just like the first time King and his love went to see the show. However, now King has to perform on stage. He has to perform as the little drummer boy. King has a plan. He wants to get out of the cellar of the puppet master. He wants to break the drums on purpose while on stage. He has nothing to lose, so it doesn't matter what the puppet master will do to him. He just hopes that he will get sent away, right to Victoria. King is on stage. He is ready, and as he walks up on the stage and falls right on his face. Oh my God, it's such a big disgrace.
Yeah, so he didn't cooperate, and he was just like, nope, I'm not going to dance, and just falls over, essentially.
Firmly disgracing the puppet master in front of his audience. Last track. The last track was actually track 13, which was all instrumental, which is very sad, but I will finish it here. Track 12, Living Dead. 18 years later, King is hanging on a wall with a nail through his throat. He is hanging in a puppet shop. He is feeling like the living dead.
That tracks.
He is going insane. All the kids who visit the shop are afraid of him. They say he looks sick. He has heard rumors about how the puppet master is going to build the theater in London. However, the theater is going to be run by his son and daughter. It's going to be another, just like the original, and more will die. He's thinking about his love, Victoria, and Victoria, far away, is thinking about him. Will they ever see each other again?
That's a fun story. That's a very fun story.
Thank
Very
you.
Halloween-y.
As soon as you said, oh, this episode's about nightmares, and you're like, what are we going to do for music mumbles? I'm like, I've got it. It's got to be about the puppet master. What a crazy nightmare.
I'd say so. And I mean, like him, hate him, King Diamond, as far as the music, he's a storyteller. I mean, this is a fun, well-crafted story. It makes me wonder if he would ever take one of his albums, his concept albums, and actually get it someone to write it into a script, or he himself. I mean, Rob Zombie made movies. So I would love to see this as a horror film.
I could see him more doing it as a stage play. I could see him taking Abigail, one of his earlier albums, 1987.
Sure.
And making that a stage play, because it's just so it's so cool. I could see that. He's very theatrical.
Fair enough. You know what else would be cool is kind of just, I mean, I'm assuming he made music videos for at least some of these.
Oh yeah, a ton.
Okay, so it would be really cool to have a Pink Floyd The Wall kind of movie. You know what I mean? Where it's just a visual album, essentially.
I would love that, but I feel like it's past that point. He should have did it a while ago.
Sure.
But that's why I could see him signing off the rights, at least, like you said, to maybe do something. Maybe. Because he's got great stories.
He does. Well, guys, I don't know what you think, but I thought that was chilling. And if you have never heard of King Diamond, or you've just been curious about his stuff, check out the album. He is a horror master, to say the least.
I believe that album came out in 2001. It was a great album.
Nice. Well, that was creepy. A lot of death in that. And unfortunately, there is some death in real life constantly when it comes to celebrities that are no longer with us.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about now. Guys, here are the people we've lost recently.
Remember that guy? Remember that gal? Well, now they're dead.
Ace Frehley. Paul Daniel Ace Frehley, co-founder and lead guitarist of the legendary rock band Kiss, and a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, has died following injuries suffered during the fall last month. According to a statement from his family, he was 74.
Wow. So, I mean, Kiss Army, really huge in the 70s. Detroit Rock City. Detroit Rock City is one of my favorite movies. It came out in the late 90s,
It's so
starring
good.
Edward Furlong. And the whole movie was them trying to go to Detroit to see Kiss live. And that was one of my big exposures for Kiss because I wasn't overly music. So it's like I wasn't aware of it until then. And then the cultural impact of my childhood would be like Scooby-Doo meets Kiss.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just saying.
I mean, Kiss has just always been a staple, right? And I know that Ace, I want to say it was, he wasn't even in the band after 82, I believe. And he came back for the reunion tour. But to me, he was always just so iconically a part of Kiss. He was Star Child.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I thought he was the cat face.
No, that's Peter Criss.
Oh, fair
was
enough.
the drummer.
Well, just what an iconic band to be a part of. You know what I mean? If we could do anything in our lives where the world knows us more because of the makeup or the suit we wear than the person you are, I mean, that's kind of a fun little impact.
He's
that
an
you had.
action figure.
He's more than action figure. They're board games. They're everything. I mean,
There's
Kiss was a phenomenon.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. So rest in peace, Ace Frehley. What a legend, dude.
What a legend.
So that brings us to Isabel Tate, an actor on ABC's 911 Nashville, died last Sunday. She was 23.
Yeah, this is a sad one.
Tate had a rare form of Charcot-Marie tooth disease, a genetic neurological disorder that affects the nerves that control the muscles. Tate played Julie on the Ryan Murphy spinoff series, appearing in the pilot episode that aired on October 9th, 2025. Her representative at Nashville-based McRae Agency announced that her death on social media, writing that booking a role on 911 Nashville was Tate's first major foray into acting.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. She's 23. That's
That's
awful.
crazy sad.
But it's kind of nice that she got to do that. She got the validation of, like, I imagine what her dream was, to be an actress. And it sucks she was only in the pilot. And I haven't seen the pilot, so I'm not sure if they're going to recast the character or if they're just going to, like, sometimes in TV show pilots, there'll be a character that just isn't there anymore.
Yes.
It happens. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, but, with such a short life, I say we respect and we love the fact that she got somewhere. She accomplished a goal. She did something. She was in a television show, which I imagine was always her dream. So, very sad. And, I mean, you can't help what you're born with. You can't help. Sometimes health just goes south. Trust me, I know.
Which is crazy because, right, like you could only imagine being so young and already having so many opportunities that she was just beginning. She had so much more.
What
to
else
give.
could have she done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. But so is this next one, even though he lived a much longer life.
Dave Ball, a producer and half of the English synth pop duo Soft Cell, whose 1981 single "Tainted Love" became one of the defining hits of the new wave era.
I mean, who doesn't know that song?
Everybody knows that song. And he has died at his home in London. He was 66. Mark Almond, Mr. Ball's musical partner in Soft Cell, announced his death on Thursday. He did not have a cause, but Mr. Almond said in a statement posted online that Mr. Ball had been, quote, ill for a long while and his health had been in slow decline over recent years, unquote. Mr. Almond said he died on Tuesday, although the band's website said he died on Wednesday. To all of those who entertained us and are no longer with us, we tip our hat to you.
We definitely do. And as much as I wasn't a new wave fan, or I'm not a new wave fan,
I kind of am.
Tainted Love is like we talked about, is a great song. I loved Marilyn Manson's cover of it. I thought it was funny because a weird little side story is, do you remember the movie Not Another Teen Movie?
I do.
Okay, so I think it was 2001, Not Another Teen Movie was a parody movie of, obviously, teen movies. And the director, I believe the writer-director, but it might have just been the director, approached Marilyn Manson and was like, hey, would you do a song for this movie? Would you do, something for Not Another Teen Movie? And Marilyn Manson was mulling it over and he's just like, it's not real. I'm not really a comedy guy. Like, what am I going to do? And what they came up with was doing the cover for Tainted Love. And it actually,
really?
Yeah. And it actually worked really well because they used it in the film in a scene when, the sexy character who was supposed to be the Sarah Michelle character from Cruel Intentions comes in the schoolgirl outfit, and if you hear this tainted love, like when she just approaches down the hallway, and that was Marilyn Manson's contribution.
That's interesting. I didn't know that's how it came about.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too.
No, dude, that's awesome. What a great cover. But dude, what a great career to all these people. We tip our hats, of course.
Of course. Pour one out for them.
Indeed.
And with that, we have reached the final segment of the show. A little thing we like to call Earthling Entertainment Headlines. Wait just a minute, Ryan. So, do you remember the show Scrubs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing a reboot. You know that, right? They're bringing back the original cast and like redoing the show. Well, they're not redoing it. It's like a continuation. It's like they've been doing with everything.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, Scrubs is coming back, and it's actually got a premiere date. So on February 25th, 2026, we're going to get more Scrubs. So if you were a fan of Scrubs, I know TLC wasn't, but if you were a fan of Scrubs, it'll be out next year in February.
Scrubs is a guy who can't get no love from me.
Well, let's give some love to headline number 1.
Stranger Things 2-hour series finale will play in movie theaters.
I'm actually really excited about this.
This comes to us from Variety.com. The 2-hour series finale of Stranger Things will get a theatrical release. The climactic episode titled The Right Side Up will premiere on Netflix and in more than 350 movie theaters on December 31st, starting at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at.
Sure.
Playing through January 1st, 2026, this appears to mark the first time an episode of a Netflix series is also to be exhibited theatrically.
Nice.
Which I know you're all about.
I am. And honestly, they've done it before, but it was like HBO. Like Game of Thrones had like a few episodes. I actually saw a Doctor Who season 8 premiere. That was when Peter Capaldi first became the Doctor. I saw that premiere in theaters. So I do like it when they do this for big TV events.
Hell yeah. That's sweet. No, I agree.
Yeah, so the other details are going to be announced shortly, but I wanted to cover this story because I don't know. I love Stranger Things. I've been on board for the past 10 years. And when I say I've been on board, I mean, I really like the show. I have literally all the comic books. I have a bunch of novels. I even have a printed versions of the scripts. I like the show. I like the lore. Like we were talking about Stephen King. It's very Stephen King-y.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it came out, like, I think at the same time as the first It.
1 year before. So Stranger Things premiered in 2016 and it was 2017.
Yeah. So there you go. It kind of like followed that. I don't know. They're like the
same vibe.
Yeah. Like kids being funny, being vulgar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like cursing and shit. Like it was funny.
Well, none of the Stranger Things kids really cursed, but I hear you. It had the whole. They have a genre it's called Kids on Bikes. It's an actual genre.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there's this show that came out. I think it was on Amazon Prime. It was called Paper Girls, and that was another Kids on Bike ones. E.T. was the classic kid. That's where it comes from, and it's the idea of these kids that are going on this adventure and dealing with these things in basically a whole different world than the parents even realize is happening under their nose. It's a very fun genre.
I like that. So the Rugrats fall into that?
Not at all, Ryan. Not at all.
Bummer.
That
was the best I had.
Well, if you're going to talk Rugrats, then let's talk about the early 90s. You remember Hocus Pocus?
Do I?
Yeah, well, you know what? They're going to do another one, which makes sense because they did a sequel a while back. And yeah, so they're going to do number 3.
Betty Midler says Hocus Pocus 3 script is brilliant.
Ooh.
This comes to us from BloodyDisgusting.com. Betty Midler revealed that she's read the script for Hocus Pocus 3, and she thinks that it is brilliant during a recent appearance on Watch What Happens Live. They sent a script, and a lot of it was brilliant, said Midler. So I got very excited, and now we're sort of trying to figure out what it is and where it's going to be and how much it's going to cost and all those logistical things.
Yeah, just the important things of how to actually get shit done. But there's a script.
That's a good start.
It is.
Hocus Pocus 2 was released in 2022, nearly 3 decades after the 1993 original, and became Disney Plus's most viewed film at that time. A third installment was announced with director Ann Felcher and writer Jen D'Angelo, both set to return, but not much has been heard on that front since. Back in 2023, D'Angelo commented, "I'm hoping that we are able to explore every aspect of these stories and take these characters on a bunch of fun adventures. 3 is still very much in the early stages. We don't really know what it is, but we're exploring all the options." In Hocus Pocus, a teenage boy and his little sister move to Salem, where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches who were executed in the 17th century. Midler returned alongside Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy in Hocus Pocus 2, in which 2 young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to a modern-day Salem.
All right, so you're going to find this surprising. I have some thoughts, Ryan.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first Hocus Pocus to me has always been like a Halloween staple.
Same.
Right? Because in 93, we were young. I was under 10. I mean, something like 7 or 8. And I really love that movie. And I was on board like everyone else when the second one was going to come. I was dubious because, 30 years later, and it was a made for streaming movie. And it was okay. I didn't hate it. It didn't really do much for me because
The second one?
yeah, it was okay. I mean, they spent like not really half the movie, but it felt like they spent at least a third of the movie in Walgreens. And it's like, here's a big commercial for Walgreens. And I'm like, yep, that's how you got it funded. And I thought that was kind of stupid. But
I loved the actors in that. I thought they all did great.
They did. But there's actually a much better Hocus Pocus sequel. So a few years before that second one came out, they came out with a novel, which was supposed to be the official sequel to Hocus Pocus. And that actually brought back the original characters of Danny and Max and all the ones from the first one. So I'm kind of hoping with this third film, they basically do that book sequel because it was more of a direct sequel to the first movie. And I think it's possible because everyone involved has mentioned recently that they would be interested in returning. And I kind of feel as though with everything I've heard in the media that's the angle. We're going to bring back Danny, we're going to bring back Max and kind of round out the trilogy with a little bit more of connection to the first film.
I'd be down for that. I really enjoyed the second one, honestly.
Right?
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, there's something about Hocus Pocus. It really is. I put it right next to Nightmare Before Christmas, when it comes to like the old school Halloween movies that you'd watch.
The things that made you feel like it was Halloween as a kid.
The spirit. Yeah, the real spirit of Halloween.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. You know what's funny? Is there was a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie and it was called Double Double Toil and Trouble.
Yes.
It came out around the same time. So
I want to say I saw that.
Right. Well, that was kind of the same thing for me. It was like right with Hocus Pocus as far as like these are my Halloween movies. The difference is I've watched Hocus Pocus recently and it still holds up for me while being a kid's movie. Double Double Toil and Trouble? No. That is a movie for babies. Like literal babies. Like like it is so young and it's all respect to, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I think they were like 6. You know what I mean?
They did their best.
But I guess that's all I really got to say, man. I'm down for Hocus Pocus 3 and I hope they bring back the original characters, which is what I believe is going to happen.
Well, and speaking of bringing back original characters, did you know that Magic the Gathering is bringing back something that we both love and actually was the start of this podcast?
That's true. So for those of you who don't know, Magic the Gathering has been doing some weird stuff lately where they're basically taking IP from other things. They did a Final Fantasy series of cards and it looks like we're going to get like Ryan mentioned, something from our past that I'm quite on board for.
Magic the Gathering teams up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This comes to us from Nerdist.com. Chocolate and peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes a pairing just seems too perfect. Since Magic the Gathering began teaming with pop culture properties as part of its Universes Beyond line, we'd hope to see a mashup as perfect as this. As announced at New York Comic-Con, Wizards of the Coast will release a Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles partnership.
I can't hit that applause button enough, guys. I am a turtle fan. I am a hero and a half shell all the way.
Turtle power. The heroes in a half shell are heading into the world's premiere collectible card game. Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brings decade of turtle power to your games of Magic. Cowabunga!
Cowabunga!
The cards release worldwide on March 6, 2026. The set is available for pre-order now from your local game store. TCG Player, Amazon, and elsewhere Magic products are sold. The Magic the Gathering collab with Nickelodeon for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just the latest Universal's Beyond set. Previously, we've seen collabs with Avatar, The Last Airbender, which is the great prequel to...
Stop saying it. Go ahead. I'm serious. You're done. You're done making fun of Avatar. We're not talking about an Avatar stories. We're talking about Ninja Turtles. They're lovable, and you shush.
Captain Planet and Spider-Man, plus announcements for Star Trek and The Hobbit.
I would play Hobbit. See, The Hobbit is the only IP that feels like it could be in the world of Magic the Gathering.
1,000%.
The rest of them are just kind of like, and then there's a towel. And you're like okay.
You're a towel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wonderful time to enjoy collectible card games. What universe will be beyond next? Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be released on February 10th, 2026.
And I always loved the art of Magic the Gathering. I always loved the cards. Always. But I was like, I played Pokemon. I played Digimon. I even played Magination, but I never played Magic the Gathering. These Ninja Turtle cards may be enough to get me to actually try, to like actually learn, you know.
And I play Pokemon trading card game Pocket now.
Yeah, you said it was good.
It's so good. And it's been out for a year.
Nice.
Dude, it's so fun.
I might actually jump on board. I never did the Pokemon Go. I feel like I missed the train on that augmented reality game. But the card game I'm familiar enough with already, even though it's been more than 20 years. I feel like I could pick that up and get right into it.
And they do it a little different, not to get into too much details, but there's no more prizes. You don't have to worry about energy cards in your deck. You can just build your deck how you want with training cards and with Pokemon. And like I said, not to get too much into it, but they streamlined it really well.
Okay. So never mind. Everything I thought I knew is now bullcrap. Never mind. I'm not trying it. All right.
Dude,
fine.
it's good.
That's
good. You should. But
I hold on. What I wanted to say is this fourth headline is in theme. We keep bringing up Freddy. Well, you know what? There's might be more Freddy down the line. And I just think that's really exciting. I'm sorry. I wanted to preface that a little bit before. Go ahead, Ryan. Mm-hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 director thinks Jim Carrey could play Freddy Krueger. A bold new direction.
Dun, dun, dun.
This comes to us from Deadline.com. Although Robert Englund has hung up his fedora and razor claws, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise could live on with another Freddy Krueger.
That's true. And like we mentioned, the 2010 remake, the problem with that one is they got rid of all the humor. They made it too dark. So the idea of Jim Carrey playing Freddy, I mean, I know it sounds weird at first, but
he'd be great.
He might really be able to pull this off.
He'd be great.
The one-liner stuff. If he has done drama before. He has done horror before.
Oh, he's creepy when he wants to be.
Exactly. So I think he could pull it off. I agree with this director, but please continue the article.
I do too.
Yeah.
Chuck Russell, co-writer, director of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Woo! The movie of the day, right?
From 1987.
That's right. I was 1 year old.
Said that although Englund is only Freddy to him, he has confidence that Jim Carrey could pull off playing the killer after directing him in The Mask.
Yeah.
From 1994.
Same director, man, who did yeah.
Dude, and you know how much money Jim Carrey saved them on that production of The Mask? Because they had so many plans like, oh, we're going to have to use CGI to make him look more rubbery. And Jim was just so all over the place and great that they were like, holy crap, we don't need to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And he's a very animated person. So it's just, imagine him with the claw going like, making the one-liners like, I'm going to cut your face off with blah, 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 blah.
Dude,
Alrighty then.
I can't help but think, like, honestly, like, all jokes aside, I really think this is a great matchup.
I agree.
So here's a quote. Jim, in my opinion, could almost do anything if he puts his heart into it. For Jim to do it, we'd have to do something that was another leap in the Elm Street series, a little bit like what Wes did with his very meta new nightmare. I think Jim would only consider it, and I'd only consider harnessing Jim if there was a bold new direction for Elm Street.
I don't know if we need a bold new direction. I wasn't a huge fan of Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I get what he was trying to do. He really tried to push the whole meta thing, and it didn't, in my opinion, work with a New Nightmare. It did work with Scream, though, you know what I mean? So it could have been good, but I would just do another straight sequel. You know what I mean? I would just make it as if it was just along lines of the other ones.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you don't have to work that hard on it. It's just over time, he's still there. He finds a new group of kids to...
Actors get recast. Doug Bradley did not play every time Pinhead was on screen. There was some movies where it was a different guy. And granted, they weren't as good, but it was still Pinhead, you know?
Yeah.
It could be a Freddy.
No, they could totally do this, especially with Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just, I'm glad we're on the same page. It's actually not really news, but it is kind of news because what happened was this director was talking about how he would do it with Jim, and apparently he was talking to Arquette as well, and she said she would come back. I know
Dude.
a lot of the original actors would come back, right? So it could be a lot of fun, but because most of those characters died, I get what he's saying about it has to be like a meta thing because it has to be like them making the movie of the third one, but then Freddy's real, which is kind of what they did in A New Nightmare.
Bring back Johnny Depp as like a zombie.
Johnny Depp did
Dude.
reprise his role in the sixth movie. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Johnny Depp came back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You know what else is awesome? Our final headline. Now, Ryan, this final headline was for you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump the show.
Not at all.
Did you have more you wanted to say about
No,
Freddy?
no, not at all. No, like I pretty much said everything I had to say. Like I never even thought about it, but man, he would make a great Freddy Krueger.
Okay, so I have one thing that I would say also who would do very well is the guy who played Arnie, the strongest man in the world.
I could see that.
Yeah, he would be really good
I
too.
could see that.
All right, but anyways, I'm sorry. This final headline was for you, Ryan.
Thank you.
So here you go. Guys, enjoy.
Adam Driver reveals his Ben Solo Star Wars movie that Disney rejected. This comes to us from Collider.com. In a revelation that's sure to sting for Star Wars fans, Adam Driver has confirmed that he and Steven Soderbergh...
Yep, Soderbergh, dude. Oh, my God.
Oh, dude, I got it right? Sweet.
Yeah, it is Soderbergh. I know you're not a big movie guy, but this would be the equivalent of being like Christopher Nolan. Like, Steven Soderbergh is a huge name, and he's a brilliant writer. This is the equivalent of saying, Shakespeare wrote this teen movie. Not another teen movie. No, I'm serious. It's a big deal. He's up there as just one of the best filmmakers. I'm sorry. I know you're not aware of his work. So
Dude,
I wanted
no,
you
I
to
appreciate it.
understand
Thank
how
you.
monumental it is that this gentleman even wrote a Star Wars movie.
Okay. So Adam Driver confirmed that he and Steven Soderbergh spent 2 years developing a Star Wars sequel that was ultimately shut down by Disney. Yes, you read that right. Or you heard that right from me. Driver, who portrayed Kylo Ren across this sequel trilogy, told AP that the project, titled The Hunt for Ben Solo, would have taken place after the rise of Skywalker and centered on his character's post-redemption journey. The film was co-written by Steven Soderbergh and Rebecca Blunt, with Scott Z. Burns later joining to pen the script. Quote, I always was interested in doing another Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out. I always said, with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I love that character, and I love playing him. Driver said that he approached Soderbergh with an idea that explored Ben Solo's unfinished arc, a more intimate, character-driven continuation that mirrored The Empire Strikes Back in tone and scale. The duo pitched it to Kennedy, Carrie Beck, and Dave Filoni, who reportedly loved the idea. Quote, we presented the script to Lucasfilm. They loved the idea. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. We took it to Bob Iger, And
Bob Iger.
thank you.
Bob Iger is the head of Disney. He's the main boss. If there isn't a top than a Bob Iger.
So they took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they said no. They didn't see how Ben Solo was alive, and that was that. But didn't Luke say no one is ever truly gone?
That's true. But you know what, Bob Iger, think business. The last movie was not well received. He probably was like, okay, well, let's stay away from the sequel trilogy. That's why the Rey movie isn't coming out. I know they say it's just delayed.
Yeah.
That movie's never going to come out. And all these movies I've been complaining that Kathleen Kennedy's announces that never come out. Now we're finding out that Bob Iger and other people may be the reason why. There may be the top higher than Kathleen Kennedy saying no to these projects. And it's just weird because other studios don't do that. So like, for instance, Pixar, Pixar is owned by Disney, right?
Right.
But Pixar has their money to make their movies. They can write a script, make a movie, and do whatever. And normally the top people aren't going to say no or yes. So the simple fact that Lucasfilms can't do what they want to do shows, let's just say how much the money people have confidence in Lucasfilm right now.
Well, and you already know what I'm probably about to say. You know, I loved Book of Boba Fett, and I know a lot of people hated it, and it's whatever. But it's for that reason that we won't even see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Grogu, which is coming out.
Yes, yeah.
And it's all because of this. I don't get it.
We're speculating that we won't see Boba Fett because, to be fair, Boba Fett is a dude in a suit. So just because the actor says he was never asked to come back doesn't mean they're not going to have a scene with a dude in a suit who is Boba Fett. So I'm just saying we don't know that.
That bums me out even more.
Well, I'm just saying we haven't seen the movie yet.
That's true. I just have such a love for that man.
For sure.
So he described the finished script as one of the coolest expletive. So I'm guessing, may I?
The coolest fucking script.
Thank you. It's coolest fucking scripts I had ever been a part of. Yes.
Well, Adam Driver being excited about it is good. I mean, it makes sense. I would like to see what happened to Ben Solo afterwards. I mean, obviously he died, so we don't have to see what happened to him. But we never really explored that time where he turned to the dark side. Imagine this movie opening with the Luke almost killing him because of whatever happened in the Knights of Ren and all that.
I want to see Knights of Ren. I'm just glad you brought that up.
Okay, well, this whole movie could have the Knights of Ren in it and could make more sense as to who the hell they were and why they were. And this movie could have filled in a lot of gaps.
It really should have. Soderbergh, ever the minimalist, issued his own response. I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry the fans won't get to see it.
I mean, that's fair.
Damn. Representatives for Disney and Lucasfilm declined to comment. Driver's version of the film was meant to explore the spiritual and emotional fallout of Ben Solo's redemption, picking up after his sacrifice and the rise of Skywalker. The concept reportedly aimed to combine the gritty, grounded approach of Soderbergh's filmmaking with the moral complexity of Star Wars' most mythic storytelling. For Driver, the project represented a chance to finish what he started.
Right?
Quote, "We wanted to be judicial about how to spend money and to be economical with it and to do it for less than most, but in the same spirit of what these movies are, which is handmade and character-driven. Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, is the standard of what made those movies what they were. And Soderbergh believes this code. He lives this ethics and doesn't compromise."
Yeah. I mean, with such an amazing writer, it's so surprising that they passed on it because, like I mentioned, this would be like Christopher Nolan being like, "Yeah, I'll do a Star Wars," and then being like, "Yeah, we're good."
Dude, no, it's a shame. I would like to see it. Let's be honest. If you have a generational actor and a hugely popular character audiences are still obsessed with, and that actor wants to make another Star Wars, you let him. Instead, Disney executives reportedly balked at the logistics of resurrecting Ben Solo.
It's easy. You want to know how you bring Ben Solo back? Check this out. Ben Solo's back somehow. I mean, they did it once.
The end.
I mean, it was good enough for the Emperor.
We got the world between worlds now. Anything could happen.
That actually is true. That is time travel. I'm just saying.
Just saying. In the grand tradition of Hollywood what ifs, the hunt for Ben Solo now joins the growing list of Star Wars projects that were loved by Lucasfilm but never paid it back made it past the corporate veto. Update. Star Wars fan BD Neagle purchased space on a digital billboard in New York City's Times Square to push Disney to approve the search for Ben Solo. The billboard went up at 1500 Broadway above Carlo Bake Shop between 43rd and 44th. Every 28 minutes it reads, "For Adam, no one's ever really gone. Hope lives. Ben is alive. Hashtag THBS."
Save the search for Ben Solo.
This digital call to action isn't the first shot fired in this quickly forming campaign. Days earlier, fans flew a plane with a banner over Disney Studios in Burbank, California. Its message was very clear. Save hashtag the hunt for Ben Solo. The billboard is designed to show Disney what fans really want. If they could bring back Palpatine with one line, there are plenty of ways Ben could return and already fit into Star Wars lore.
Which is what I said. And people, okay, so most of the time fans bitching does nothing. It's true. But sometimes fan bitching does do something.
Remember Ugly Sonic?
Exactly. Dude, the Snyder Cut only existed because fans demanded it. You know, Warner Brothers put up $70 million to finish that movie in Zack Snyder's vision in order to make that happen. It's not like a lot of these people believe that the Snyder Cut was just something sitting on a laptop that Warner Brothers was refusing to release. That's not the case. It was unfinished. His vision took a whole nother movie's budget to be made, but they did it because the fans asked, and enough of them asked that they were like, okay, we can probably make some money. So if you want the search for Ben Solo to happen, keep on telling Disney, and you know what? It might happen. That's how these things work. It's not to get into political stuff, but Jimmy Kimmel was suspended, and enough people canceled their Disney Plus memberships that brought him back. That's why he's back on the show. Talk. I mean, like, it happens. You talk
gotta,
with your wallet.
The voice of the fans really is valuable.
Oh my God, it is.
It really is. Like, to speak out, don't just think you're trolling or bitching on, like, sometimes.
I mean, if you're trolling and bitching, you could be nice about saying you want a movie.
Yes. and go about the right way. Like, go right to the source and tell them how you feel, because you're a fan. Your voice matters.
Honestly, they're a corporation. They want to make money. And if they think enough of you are going to go to the theater and see a movie, they'll make it. That's how that works. A good example is the new Toxic Avenger. So the new Toxic Avenger, starring Peter Dinklage as Toxie, that was made a few years ago, and it just didn't have a release. Like, no one would release it. Like, everyone's like, I don't know. Enough fans said that they wanted it, that it got a theatrical release and is now available. I bought it digitally. I wasn't able to see it until it was available digitally. And let me tell you, that movie is bonkers. It is so good.
Well, the original was so extreme.
Oh, Ryan, you have no idea. So in this new one, it's the normal goofy comedy, but also the over the top gore with the effects. Like, he smacks the dude in the face with a mop, and his whole lower jaw's off, and it's bloody.
Yep.
And there's a weird puppets in it. It's got so much stuff. And my God, Kevin Bacon does such a good job as the villain. You love to hate him.
Kevin Bacon's a great villain.
Oh my God. And Elijah Wood was in it. He looks just like the Penguin from Batman Returns for some reason, with a comb over. It is a fantastic movie. I could not tell you enough. If you haven't seen the new Toxic Avenger, definitely do it. Now, keep in mind, it is incredibly gory. It is incredibly weird. And it is just so funny.
I feel like if anybody knew the origins of such, they wouldn't be surprised.
That's true.
If you've seen the original Toxic Avenger, it's wild. Like, just kids being like, I need to run over people.
Yeah.
I need to kill people with my car.
That's
Like,
true.
that
That's
was-
not actually in this new one, but it could have been. You know, there was this point where Peter Dinklage pisses, go figure, as Toxie, and it's like acid. It's like xenomorph acid. It like burns through stuff, right?
Okay.
Well, there's a payoff. Is in the third act, he's locked up with these chains, and he's like, oh, I know how to escape. I got to get my dick out. And there's this a woman.
When in doubt.
Get your dick out, right? Well, there's this woman chained up next to him, and she's like, oh my God, don't be a pervert. And he's like, hey, I am not a pervert. Now, hold on, I got to piss on my face. And he leans over and pees this acid pee to get the collar around his neck melted and escape. It is just such a weird, fun movie. I couldn't recommend it more.
I
Good,
know
it's
I
perfect
gotta
for
see it.
Halloween.
It is perfect for Halloween. Man.
Oh, speaking of Halloween, did you guys enjoy this Halloween episode?
Yeah, we went off the rails,
A
but
little bit.
man, we hope you all have a safe and fun Halloween. Plenty of treats and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
Don't put out your pumpkins until Halloween's over. Sam will come get you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. It was a great Halloween episode. It's funny because tomorrow is actually Halloween, and I wanted this episode to come out last week because I wanted it to have like a little room to breathe, right? So it's like a week before Halloween. Obviously, I already got into why we missed last week, but at least it's before Halloween. I would have been really disappointed if this was like a Simpsons Halloween special that comes out like November 3rd.
No, we pulled this off.
We did. we went right by the skin of our teeth, but it is before Halloween.
That's right.
So, guys, join us next week. And from everyone here at Earthling Entertainment, trick or treat.
This is Halloween. This is
Halloween.
Pumpkin scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween.
Although,
Everybody make
let's
a
be
scream.
fair, Nightmare Before Christmas, while very spooky, I think it's more of a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie. It is right in the middle.
I
But-
put him as both. I put it as both.
I think everyone puts them in as both.
Yeah.
You know, they have sequels to that too in novel form. Disney pumps out a lot of weird sequels to their classic movies in comics and novels. So if you guys are interested, check it out.
Nice.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
This has been Earthling Entertainment Special Report. My take on Fantastic Four First Steps, a lot more to do with a baby than I would have thought. They should probably take some more steps. No, I'm serious. Like, first steps, I'm assuming means like the first steps of the baby. Kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming was like because he went to homecoming at the end of that fucking movie. I'm fucking serious, man. It was all about a goddamn baby. The whole fucking movie. I really thought it was just about making your steps into the movie theater to actually see it. Like Galactus was like, give me your baby. And they're like, no, we're not giving you our baby. And he's like, well, then I'm going to destroy your fucking world. And they're like, good, you fucking do it. Huh, yeah, that was the whole goddamn movie. I never knew. Yeah. Well, November 5th. I guess, you've heard of her. You heard it here. Heard it here. I'm blind with anticipation. He actually is blind. He doesn't see anything. Yeah, but that's because of masturbation and booze. I love it. I'm a fan of this. I'm here for it.